and the Canadian Prime Minister in Kiev.
President Zelensky has spoken. He's talked about Vladimir Putin not wanting to exchange something for peace. He's looking at summits like these for Ukraine and the countries around it to come up with its own proposal to counter what Russia is seeking to do. He's proposed a complete prisoner of war exchange to kick things off in this peace process. It's been a rare area of cooperation between Ukraine and Russia, and he suggested that all POWs would be exchanged as a first stage.
The BBC's James Waterhouse in Kiev. French President Macron says he'll advise President Trump against being weak in his dealings with Russian President Putin. Macron says he'll be delivering that message today when he visits the White House. Well, you might think Mexico's government would be a Trump ally in the war on drug cartels. You might think wrong.
After the United States designated 6 Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations and plans to eradicate them, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum made changes to that country's constitution that would essentially block any investigation or action by foreign law enforcement agencies without their permission. Sheinbaum's been harshly criticized by political opponents and news outlets in Mexico in the past for appearing to protect drug cartels from the U.S. government. Tasha Stevens reporting.
The FBI getting a new deputy director whose name is familiar to many. President Trump announcing the appointment of Dan Bongino as Director Kash Patel's right-hand man. And Starbucks announcing plans to lay off 1,100 corporate employees worldwide. Wall Street ahead of this morning's opening bell. Dow futures up 252 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 103. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, it's big. Rob Schmidt recently beat CNN in key ratings as millions are tuning into Newsmax. Every night, Rob Schmidt is on Newsmax revealing the truth about Elon Musk's Doge. Tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern and find out why Rob is the hottest person in cable news. Even President Trump is watching, and he says Newsmax is terrific. Reuters Institute reports that Newsmax is now one of the top news brands in America. Find out why. Just check out Newsmax on your cable system. Get Rob Schmidt with Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and much more. Download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone or home TV to start watching. It takes just seconds. With Newsmax Plus, you can watch our great shows anytime. Go to NewsmaxPlus.com and start your free trial. That's NewsmaxPlus.com. Make the switch to Newsmax today.
German voters are steering their country to the right.
Germany has voted, and the exit polls show opposition leader Friedrich Merz and his Conservative Party on course for a lackluster victory. But the story making waves, Alternative for Germany, or AfD, scoring the best result for a far-right party since World War II. Merz's centre-right Union bloc emerged as expected winners, but with the AfD surging into second place for the first time in a national election, Germany's political centre has been shaken. Merz now faces the challenge of forming a coalition, a potentially complicated task as mainstream parties remain firm on isolating the far right.
Correspondent David Keaton. French authorities say an explosive device has gone off outside the Russian consulate in Marseille on the third anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. No injuries reported. A second device was thrown, but it did not explode, and a bomb disposal unit was sent to neutralize that device. News and analysis, townhall.com. Breathing one huge sigh of relief following the latest aviation scare.
An American Airlines flight that left New York Saturday bound for New Delhi, India, landed safely in Rome on Sunday after it was diverted due to a security concern, which later proved to be non-credible, according to the airline, which did not elaborate on that security concern. 2 fighter jets were flying along with the plane before landing, and fire trucks were visible on the airstrip. I'm Julie Walker.
New York City police say 3 people have died in the sinking of a boat. 2 others hospitalized, 1 critical. The Coast Guard says it's also searching for someone who is missing. The Coast Guard deployed an emergency crew yesterday afternoon after the speedboat took on water about 5 miles southeast of Breezy Point. That's a neighborhood at the tip of Queens' Rockaway Peninsula. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, Whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Ah, yes, back to the grind.
Welcome to it.
Welcome to
warm.
Dude, I mean, it was cold this morning, but considering we were at 18 degrees this time last week, I mean, yeah, we're doing great.
84 our high.
84 degrees for the high.
Yep.
People wonder why everybody's getting sick.
That's 6 away from 90.
That's 6 away from 90. Hey, look at you doing back math.
Uh-huh.
Here I was thinking you couldn't do it.
I was told I don't do math.
Look at you.
Sometimes I slip a little in just for fun.
And on a Monday morning.
On a Monday.
Dang.
Well, happy Monday.
Yes.
Happy warm Monday. Starting the day in long sleeves, ending the day in shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So, dressed in layers today.
See, this is the weather. This is the time of year that I just wish zip-off pant shorts were a thing still.
Yeah. Today and tomorrow, you would want them.
Great pants shorts weather.
Yeah, we're going to be 80s today, 80 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Then we hit 67 Wednesday, 63 Thursday.
Right.
Then back to 72 for Friday.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of all over the place this week.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll see a few of those vests this week.
Yeah?
The vest.
You thinking the vest might make a comeback for this week?
And I get functionality of the vest serves zero purpose.
It's really, I mean, it keeps a part of your body warm that doesn't require that, because this is where your internal organs are, and your body does a good enough job of keeping just this part warm. That's why your fingers and toes get so cold.
Yeah, that's the heat zone.
Uh-huh. Although, you know what I wish would make a comeback? And I bring this up because over the weekend, I kind of, I binged a series the series is called Knickknacks.
Okay.
And it goes exhaustively. It's been running for years now. It's on YouTube, show by show, from the inception of the cable network Nickelodeon, what started as just a pinwheel thing, to every single show building up. And they're up to like 91, right around that point, which is like the peak of my childhood. But I bring this up because they were talking about shows that came out around the same time, and Beverly Hills 90210 was a big part of that. But they were showing something, and I think this needs to make a comeback. It's a specific look. It's short sleeve shirts, sleeves rolled up, vest. The vest, shiny pleather, maybe suede on the back, plaid on the front.
Uh-huh.
That look alone right there justifies the vest. I'm like, yes, bring that look back. Rolled up sleeves are a must, though. Of course, with my farmer's tan, it would be awful.
Well, that's great when you live in 90210 and it's the same temperature all the time, every time.
Yeah, it's true. It's always perfect. Vests make sense in Beverly Hills.
Pleasantville.
Turns out in Paradise, yeah, clothes in general are not really a survival thing.
Although now I want to hang out at the Peach Pit all of a sudden. So
this used to be all orange groves. Yep.
Like, is there a place like you come to Albuquerque and everyone goes looking for the Breaking Bad houses and places like that? I mean, LA is just LA. But do you think there's like a place that's like was where they filmed the Peach Pit at that people still go to and say, hey, it's the Peach Pit?
I don't know this for sure.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, because the show's production schedules were around the same time, if the restaurant that was used as the Peach Pit on Beverly Hills 90210 was also the Max from Saved by the Bell.
Could be.
Because it was a very similar style of restaurant, and that kind of diner style.
There is a lot of that you see.
They do a lot of
time.
The hospital, for example, that Scrubs filmed in is a now closed down hospital. It's used in a lot of TV shows. Grey's Anatomy's used it. I think ER used it back in the day. So they reuse a lot of filming locations. So it would not surprise me, but I wouldn't think that place would be an open working. Like Katz's Deli is one thing. I mean, it's like, you know.
Well, that's like that's a historic landmark restaurant.
Right. So that's like a working deli, but it's just. Its inception or its reason in cinema was because of its existence, not the other way around.
I know, like if you go to because shows like Sopranos, they filmed there in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So like the final scene in Sopranos with the Journey song and all that restaurant, you could still go there, sit at that table. There's a picture. It's all set up like it was like this is the Soprano booth from the show.
Oh, the owner of that place is sick of hearing Journey. People just come in and try to play it.
And that meat place where they all hung out at and all those things, like that's all there in Jersey, and you can do the Sopranos tour. But I always wonder, like with LA shows and certain things, or was that all just a Hollywood studio?
I would say it's more fun. I get, being a fan of a show and going to the filming location. It's more fun for me knowing that for a time I lived there.
Yeah.
And so I've been to the Doghouse. I've been to some of these places that were featured in the show.
Well, and I think most places like that too also, like 90210, like I figure it'll just be exterior shots. Kind of like the Brady Bunch. Like the Brady House.
Yeah.
They never shot anything ever in that house. That was just the exterior shot they used.
All on a sound stage.
In the segments between bits. Do-do-do-do-do. They show
Matter
the
of
house.
fact, did you ever watch that reality? It was like a 8-part series where they remade the Brady
I did watch
House.
that, weirdly enough. It was a HGTV special.
Yeah, they mentioned during this show that it's physically impossible for the house to have existed.
Yeah, they had to. The house was ginormous.
It was huge, but to get everything in there, it was impossible.
Yeah.
They had to make it bigger.
Well, that's why Mike Brady was an architect.
That's very true. That is very true.
I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. There are features of that house that are, yes, dated to that era, but I would think would be baller today. Like that kitchen.
The kitchen, yeah, with that island
with the island and the grill thing they had in there. I mean, that's baller stuff.
No, that is.
Even for 70s, but even to today,
Yeah. I've always liked the concept of bedroom, bathroom, bedroom.
Yeah.
Like in the way that they set that up in the brain. I think that's a pretty cool, architectural design. I mean, if you're a house full of children, I'm sure it's completely different.
No, but I'm not going to lie. The Brady kitchen is always one of those things. Like if I ever had that kind of money to just, I'm just going to.
Yeah, with the exception of the color scheme.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't go with the orange and all
Avocado
that. But the brick, I'd keep.
Oh, yeah.
And the amenities, and of course, I'd put a 2024 flair on that where, hey, you heard about these new microwave ovens?
I'm just trying to imagine the Brady kitchen with a smart fridge.
But, that to me, even this day, I was like, man, that's still a pretty baller kitchen they had.
It is.
Because I think it had the double oven in the wall, the whole deal, which, that's.
It's the same argument that people have made that the Friends apartment, I mean, to get an apartment like that, any of the apartments in New York City, that's like a $300,000 apartment.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would imagine Big Bang Theory is the same way, those apartments. I mean, that's in California, Pasadena.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they're all professors.
Yeah, see, that's the delineation is they all make decent money.
Well, allegedly. I mean, that's the thing. They kind of joke that they're physicists. They don't make any money. But then again, they between the 7 of them or whatever, they should be able to afford a couple of apartments. One lived with his mom for half the time.
Exactly.
He was only an engineer, though. He wasn't a physicist. Which he probably made more money. I mean, the guy was making the pooper for the space shuttle. I mean, or space station. I can't remember which one it was.
It was the space station.
But
Yeah.
I feel like the guy that made the toilet for the space station's doing all right financially.
I mean, I'm hoping he got
He can
himself a
afford an
patent
apartment
first.
in Pasadena.
Right. We want to make sure he's comfortable, in between his inventions. But I think that they could swing it. But
Well, what about Seinfeld? Like, let's all fairness.
Mhm.
Did Kramer ever have a job in Seinfeld?
Many.
No, I mean like a legit. Like, how did he pay for an apartment?
It doesn't matter. These
I mean,
questions,
Jerry was a stand-up comic. He's semi-famous.
I have a feeling that he was a glom on. Like he was maybe like
Elaine had
Jerry peeled a couple bills off to take care of Kramer.
Elaine had a job. George worked for the Yankees.
This is a Googleable question.
Kramer literally, did he have like a job?
Did Kramer ever have a real
Or everything was just one scheme to the next?
I think that's really what it was.
But how did he earn money from any
Cosmo
of that?
Kramer from Seinfeld had a few jobs, but they were mostly short-term or temporary. Yeah, his steady jobs were at the bagel place, department store Santa. He was, office job, theater projects, medical school. Kramer had a spot on the show Murphy Brown. I guess there's that.
Just how does one afford an apartment in New York City with no job?
Right
next to a stand-up comic.
Right.
Who probably makes a decent living.
Well, wonders never cease. I mean, honestly, I just maybe he came from family money.
Maybe that's the
he's
assumption.
Independently wealthy.
Maybe he's got a trust fund.
Right. His dad's the guy that came up with the idea for pleats and khaki pants.
And to be honest, he would be the personality of a guy with a trust fund. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. A little bit eccentric. Yeah, a little off the rails.
His dad invented the shoe epaulet or something like that.
Turns out my dad, Ronco, actually. Yeah, that was all him. Pocket fisherman, that was him.
That's right.
Ron Popeil.
All right, it is 7:17. I should probably give the rundown and we're going to replay an interview this hour with Crystal Noble from the Humane Society. She joined us last week. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Carrie Moore with the Chavis County Health Council will join us, give us an update on some things they've got going on there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we'll be joined by Caroline Brooks with the Roswell Museum and Amy McVeigh-Teas with the Historical Society. And coming up on April 9th, they have this Art NM at Roswell event, and it's going to be, I believe it's going to be at the museum, but I don't know, maybe it's going to be open. I'm a little fuzzy on some of the details, so they will join us here in the 9 o'clock hour. But yeah, they got a big event planned on April 9th for art and stuff at the museum, so we'll talk about that with them here in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the newses of the local and national varieties, Wall Street business updates, and all of that good stuff as well. Hey, don't forget, this Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Main Street Roswell, the EDC, and the Reno, or the National Championship Air Races, they're going to be having an information meeting to help you get ready for the races for your business or your organization. If you've been wondering about the National Championship Air Races, what it is, where it is, who it is, all the good stuff there, well, this meeting will tell you all about that, and plus you can learn how to maximize opportunities through the air races for your business or for your organization. And again, that event is, this meeting is taking place this Thursday, the 27th, 6 p.m. at the Roswell Chamber, 131 West 2nd. It doesn't cost anything. They do ask that you register for the meeting. You can do so by calling 575-914-8017, 575-914-8017, or email ed@mainstreetroswell.org, ed@mainstreetroswell.org. All right, 7:19, we're going to take a quick, actually, let's do this. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Really warm today. We have upper-level high pressure over the southwestern states. Lots of sunshine, and we're headed for the low 80s on the afternoon high. Wind at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Not too bad. Clear for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 30s, and then we'll stay in the upper 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday, and sunny. Cooling off a little bit more for Wednesday, sunny and upper 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 34 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 40% with winds out of the southeast at 3 miles per hour. Sunny and 84 today, so going to be warm. Winds will be out of the north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 38 degrees. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny and a high of 80 for tomorrow. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Shifting to the south tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, we're looking at clear skies, overnight low of 38 degrees, southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. A little cooler for Wednesday, mostly sunny, 67 for a high. A little breezy as well. North winds 10 to 15 early, 15 to 20 later in the day. Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 35 degrees. Thursday, sunny, 63 for a high. Thursday night, clear, overnight low of 31. Then we're back into the low 70s for Friday, sunny and 72. And then looking at the weekend, 74 and sunny on Saturday. 20% chance of showers Saturday night, and then sunny and 71 on Sunday. So maybe we'll see a little moisture Saturday night. Knock on wood, cross your fingers. Use a little. All right, 7:21, we're going to take a 4-minute break. We'll get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten as well. And then we will have our interview with the folks from the Humane Society. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winter.
Good morning. This is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A big end of February sale for this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves and yearlings, young, older bred cows. We expect to sell 1,800 head. Break it down like this: 175 200 weight cows and bulls, 175 200 pairs of bred cows, 1,300 1,400 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 15 to 20 cow-calf pairs, mostly black white face Angus crossbred cows with black calves at side. Pairs 5 to 10 years old, 31 bred cows. Legacy Land and Livestock here west of Roswell. Excellent quality, mostly black white face Angus crossbred cows bred to Angus and Hereford bulls. 5 to 10 years old, 27 bred cows, Studdard Ranch here west of Roswell. Excellent quality black white face Angus crossbred cows bred to Angus bulls. Cows 5 to 10 years old, 54 bred cows, Hendricks Beef, Flying H, New Mexico. Good quality black Angus and Brangus crossbreds bred to Angus and Brangus bulls. Thin condition, 6 to 10 years old, 15 bred cows, Mr. Joby Morris at Lake Arthur, New Mexico. Excellent quality black white face Angus crossbred cows bred to Angus bulls. Cows 8 to 10 years old, 259 steer calves, Brown Brothers Ranch, right here southwest of Roswell. They are reputation quality black Brangus steers. Cattle weigh 90 plus days, 3 round of shots, PI negative off short wheat, to include 3 truckload lots in the 650 to 800 pound weight range. Fancy set of steers. 163 steer calves, the 2T partnership, Pecos, Texas. Reputation quality 90% black white face Angus crossbred steers. Cattle weigh 90 100 days, 3 rounds of shots, PI tested negative, medium condition, right off short wheat. These cattle weigh 500, 800 pounds. 35 calves, Caballo Blanco over in Grant County. Quality black white face Angus crossbred calves. Cattle weighed 1 round of shots, 450, 600 pounds. 71 calves, light yearlings, Mr. John Clark, Pecos, Texas. Good quality Charolais crossbreds, medium condition, 400, 650 pounds. 27 heifer calves, Mr. Dave Mead at Verdon, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Brangus crossbred calves, cattle weigh 30 days, 2 rounds of shots, 400, 500 pounds. 24 steer calves, Mr. Bill Woodward, Tyrone, New Mexico. Excellent quality Hereford steers, cattle weigh 60 plus days, 2 rounds of shots, 500, 650 pounds. And 36 calves, Diamond Tail Ranch, Quemada, New Mexico. Quality black white face, red white face English crosses. These cattle are weaned, 1 round of shots, 375, 550 pounds. Sale time this morning 9 o'clock. Sale pairs bred cows 10 to 10:30. Be selling calves and yearlings 11:30 to 11:45. We expect to sell 1,800 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is your one-stop shop for farm and ranch supplies in southeast New Mexico, with a friendly, knowledgeable team that can help you find the answers to your problems, with brands you know, including Preford, Pearson, Purina, Hypro Feeds, Ariat, Wrangler, Cinch, Justin Boots, and more. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is a proud supporter of area sports, 4-H, FFA, and the farmers and ranchers of tomorrow. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, family owned for 50 years.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
Noble joining. And good morning. It is 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. And now joining us, I've been screwing up this whole day. I should have stayed in bed today. It was one of those days where nothing's working right, but we'll get through it. So, Crystal Noble joining us here from the Humane Society. Good morning.
It's a Monday repeat.
That's right, Monday squared.
Yeah. Good. So cold weather.
Yeah.
You know, since we only have like 4 more days of it, we still have the free straw.
Oh, good.
So if you have dogs that are outside, or even if you have like outside cats that, you know, you have little...
to be honest, even if you don't keep them out at night, but they're out there during the day, it's the tips in the 40s and 30s. That straw would be very much appreciated.
We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 12 and 1 to 4:30. When you come in, just say, you know, hey, I need some straw.
Mm-hmm.
One of the requirements is with the company, or not the company, the organization, NM Dogs, requires us to take photos of us, you know, getting the straw, giving you the straw.
Basically, it's to meet the paperwork. So the people that donate the straw, that it shows to them that what they donated
it's going
was
to where
what
it's
intended to be.
Yeah, where it's
just
designated.
documentation purposes. Anytime.
That's it.
So we just need to take a picture of your domicile with the straw in it, basically.
Pretty much. So we have that still. We have plenty of straw. Hopefully. Just come down, say, hey, I need straw, or call the kennels.
Or if your other straw, I mean, because you are supposed to change that out, you know, it's not good forever. It does get
right. If you know you've got straw and it's kind of just
getting funky.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Call us and say, hey, I need a re-up on some newer straw.
Yeah.
Because when it gets wet and all that stuff, it goes bad. So, you know, it does need to be cleaned out, thrown away.
Smelling and you know, that they've shed and do, you know, who knows?
Right.
You get stuff in there. It just happens.
Unfortunately, the kennels for the dogs are still under quarantine.
We're still dealing with distemper, which is a serious deal.
And this is not the time of the year where we normally have this type of issue.
Which is what makes this even worse.
It is extremely worse.
Which is showing the stuff's mutating, which means we're losing the fight.
It is
going on.
When I was speaking with the vets yesterday, she was saying that it's not just affecting puppies. They've had dogs that have been fully vaccinated, adult dogs.
That's scary.
That are having issues that are coming in.
People that think they have a layer of protection really don't, right?
The vaccination has mutated to where they're trying to figure out what's going on.
If you're a dog owner right now, you got to mind your P's and Q's on this stuff. Because even if you've had the distemper shots, that's not necessarily a guarantee.
No, and it's never really been a guarantee. It's basically like when we go get like the flu shot.
Sure, you just get a lesser.
You get a lesser version of it, yes, because it is a live virus that is administered. However, when viruses mutate, the virus that you vaccinated for covers that one.
Sure,
but it does not cover the mutated.
Generally mutates to something stronger, more powerful, not something weaker and less. And more friendly.
Right.
Just saying.
Our weather, you know, with the ups and downs and then the 80s, almost 90 degrees a couple of weeks ago has not helped any. If we could keep more of this weather around, it would help some. But we're definitely, you know, early in the year seeing issues. They're still seeing parvo out there as well, which is something we don't normally see this time of the year.
And it might behoove you as dog owners to be extra mindful of your surroundings. You're even at your own homes, scrubbing, bleaching, scrubbing. This is an airborne deal. So even if you are a single dog, but say there's dogs in the neighborhood, they could literally be out in the back and spread. I mean, that's what we're talking about.
It starts as a respiratory infection.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the neurological part.
Yeah.
So just like us, when we have a cold, we're coughing, sneezing, that's how we spread it. It's the same thing with distemper for dogs.
So if you're like in the city and your dog's out back and your neighbor's dog's out back, even, obviously if they're all distempered, that's going to strengthen the case for not happening. But if there's one that's not, that's the in, and then they can spread it, and even your other dogs could get. And so that it might just behoove you to, this weekend, do a little spring cleaning, go extra scrubbing on the dog bowls and the places where the dog sleeps and things like that, where the dog, hangs out a lot, especially outdoor areas, those good scrubbings and things like that, and maybe kind of do that on a more frequent basis than you normally do right now.
Right. And if you have any questions, and you're unsure of other things to do, you're welcome to call down to the shelter. We can talk to you, or call to your veterinarian and say, hey, I hear there's, an outbreak of this going on throughout Roswell. What can I do to help prevent, and take care of things ahead of time?
Yep.
If you don't have boosters on your dogs, this is the time to get them scheduled, get it done, just because, even though we don't have a vaccination per se for this strain, there's still multiple strains out there. So you want to have your animal protected as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Because it will help them in the long run.
Yeah, the more tools you have, the better they can fight it. So
Exactly.
It turns it into a cold instead of something that's life-threatening.
Yes.
Something like that.
And distemper doesn't always mean a life sentence. It does not mean that it's always like parvo. However,
It's like the flu. Weaker immune systems, it's going to do more damage to.
Right.
Stronger immune systems, they're going to fight it a little better. So if you have a weaker, older dog or a sickly dog, it may kill them.
Right.
But if it's a healthy young dog that's in good immune system, it may treat it more like a cold.
Right. And as long as, you get them to the vet on time and they're able to get treatment, everything should go well. Now, there are some dogs that, have after effects from it. Because
like long COVID kind of.
Yeah.
There's long distemper.
Basically, it does, once it starts affecting your neurological part, your dog always is going to have a little sort of a twitch.
Ticks or,
yeah.
Gotcha.
It's going to kind of look like it has Parkinson's sometimes. But those are things if it progresses into that stage. If you catch it early enough before that happens, you can avoid all that.
So, but be mindful. And then if you do see signs, please get your dog to the vet,
Yes.
get the treatments, get whatever you need to do there. But be mindful as private pet owners to keep your surroundings a little bit cleaner. It is very hardy, this disease, and it's mutating, and it's really the only way to do this is we gotta mind our P's and Q's. It's just like the pet overpopulation. The only way we're gonna fix it is if we do the steps and the same thing with the distemper. They're gonna have to scrub, we're gonna have to quarantine, we're gonna have to do all the things necessary to eradicate it, to get it back down to levels that it's more normal.
Right. And if you are needing help with getting your animals fixed, animals that you have at home, not animals that you've adopted or, got from another shelter.
Your personal pets.
We have our voucher program back.
Excellent.
We did get another grant. And so the voucher program, it's still income qualified for household income, depending on the amount of people that live in the house versus the amount of income made. If you do qualify, it will help with $100 towards a spay or neuter with any one of the vets here in town.
Nice. With smaller dogs, that'll almost pay for it.
Almost,
Bigger
yes.
dogs, it'll be a little bit more.
But there are, other vets in town that are cheaper than others,
Sure.
and, if your vet...
It's your vet of your choosing. As long as you're a licensed vet that's, licensed to operate, then
Right,
we're good.
as long as it's one of the Roswell vets.
Yeah.
You can choose to who you want to go to, and then it will pay $100 towards the spay or neuter only. Now, if you want to have them vaccinated, microchipped, any of that other stuff while they're there, that will be at your cost. Sure. But
and please note,
it is an ordinance that takes effect in April.
And please note that if you do adopt from the shelter, the dog or cat will be microchipped.
Yes.
That is a ordinance of the city. Even if you don't live in the city, if you adopt from a city inside the city, those ordinances apply. So we will have to microchip. So your dog will be going to a vet regardless from the Humane Society, even if the dog is already spayed or neutered. But it'll need to be micro, and it's a good idea just to have your own vet looking at it and making sure
Right.
getting inoculations, whatever it's needed. That's anytime you adopt a pet, the first move is to take it to the vet. That's just to get a baseline health on your pet, so we can establish that health history.
And it's, it's going to be in effect starting April.
Yes. And this is for the chaining and all that stuff.
The chain banning takes effect in April. It's now new ordinance that your animals have to have parvo distemper vaccinations. And this is why. The issues we're having
Why
now.
is that just now happening?
It should have been a long time ago, unfortunately. But
that's-
rabies is one of them, and then microchipping is. So, and then for your cats, it's not a parvo distemper vaccination. It's an RCP vaccination, microchip and rabies. It should have been a long, long time ago. Maybe we wouldn't be having so many issues. However, can't change the past, but we can change the future. So
And this is the steps it's going to take to fix this stuff,
it is.
so.
We need the community to realize, that we as shelters, us and animal control, cannot do this for you.
Sure.
You have to be a responsible pet owner. You make the appointment with your vet. You take them and you get it taken care of. Because that's what you do as a pet owner.
Well, it's the same thing. It's no different than what you do for your kids. You take your kids to your doctors to get their shots, to get their, you make sure they're healthy. It's the same thing with your pet. Your pet is a child. You treat it as such. That's how it works.
Exactly.
And if you're not doing the same style of care, then you're not doing it right.
Pretty much, just think of a pet as a forever 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
A 2-year-old that's semi-verbal, you can kind of sort of get what they want, but they can't tell you in full sentences.
Yep. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to be a little bit of a
mind reader,
soothsayer, and to be able to understand their moves and their what they're needing. And that's but here's also the other thing. You have a happier, healthier, if you treat it that way, you'll get a much better pet owner experience.
Right,
by doing that. So
all these people that are like, oh, I need a guard dog, when you make a dog a part of your family,
you got the guard dog.
You got the guard dog.
It's
instincts. It's pack instincts.
You're building a family member that is going to go through a wall for you, and that's what a dog will do when you've earned its trust, respect, and love.
And you know what? Even some cats. My mom had a guard cat.
I'm telling you right now, my cat guards. I know this is weird in its own way, and I've read, and this is this thing, like when you go to the bathroom and the cats want to climb in there with you and hang out. A lot of times they just want petting and all that, but sometimes
that's their way of protecting you.
They're keeping guard while you're in your weakest moment.
Right.
And I've noticed a lot of times, like especially if it's a time where I'm home alone and I'll go real quick and I'll leave the door open, the cat will just hang outside the door and just sit there, and I'm like, she's guarding. She's it's instinctual when they're loved ones. And so cats, you're right. Cats do it too. You just got to know the language.
Right.
And so that's exactly, my cats do that. They'll sit and guard while I'm in the can.
My mom's cat was a little bit more than a can guarder. If my mom's cat was in the room and you went to go give my mom a hug, the cat was like, don't touch.
Oh, not happening.
No touchy touchy. Because I'm going to scratchy.
Yeah.
But we called her Church. My mom named her Nike. We called her Church.
Nice.
Because she acted like the cat from Pet Cemetery. But cats will do it themselves.
Absolutely.
They will protect, they will guard.
Yep.
I love watching the videos of animals and children, like where like the baby's laying there and then the cat's laying on it and then the mom goes to do something and the cat's like, no.
Yeah.
And then the puppy's like, no.
Or how many times you'll see like a baby start wandering and then the dog or the cat will wrangle
they
the
herd
kid
it back.
to where, like, oh, it's going toward the steps, not supposed to.
Yep.
Starts, getting in the way of the cat.
They are
of
the
kid.
ultimate babysitter.
But that happens natural when you put it in a loving environment, allow your pet to be a part of the family. If
Right.
you're hoping to achieve that, that's the only way you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
All the others methods and things, you're just creating, and I'm telling you this right now, and I hate getting soapbox and all this, but with this chain ordinance and all this stuff, I'm telling you, in April, when it goes into effect, they will be looking for it. So if you've not gotten in compliance, I'm telling you right now, as soon as this goes official, they're going to be checking and looking for this kind of thing. So if you think it'll be fine, they're going to find you and they're going to fine you if you don't get in compliance with this stuff. And if you don't rectify it, then they will take the next appropriate steps to get you
where you need to be.
But it's very
the cities
simple.
put out, the PSA on their Facebook page, notifying of the ordinance change. We're talking about it. I'm hoping that they put something in like the water bill that goes out to all the city residents, because not everybody has Facebook.
Sure.
But the information's out there. You can go to RoswellNewMexico.org. I think that's the city's website, or .gov.
Yeah, it's Roswell. Yeah, Roswell-nm.gov.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the ordinances are on there, and so you can see exactly what the ordinance state and know exactly what you're going to be required to do.
Yeah, basically, if you're chaining up your dog, that's going to end. If you leave your dog outside all the time, that's what we're trying to deter you.
Right.
And so they're going to be coming after folks that aren't in compliance with this stuff. So, and this is, and again, back to the point we were saying, if you're trying to achieve the guard dog, just throwing it in the backyard and letting it go feral is not the way to do that.
No.
Because that's in essence what you're doing. Is when you throw a dog in the backyard and throw an occasional thing of food and water out there and that's it, you're just creating a feral dog.
Right. And
it's not going to.
They need enrichments. They need playtime. They need human interactions. The same as us. If we don't have human interactions for long lengths of time, we revert back to like a caveman state.
Yeah. You know what? I just started watching Yellow Jackets. Have you seen that?
No.
Ooh. That's wild. It's first season's on Netflix right now. I think they're about to do a new season on Prime.
Okay.
It's an 80s. It's a high school soccer team in the 90s that was like a state champ soccer team, and they get invited to a deal, and they get in a plane crash, and they are like, and so they kind of live Lord of the Flies. But the show picks up them as adults like years later, and they're like kind of covering up out at the thing. But it's kind of the only reason I bring it up now is because it's very much of that feral. Like they go, you put them in the environment, they go from civilized people to Lord of the Flies kind of thing. But they're it's called Yellow Jackets. I just started watching the first couple episodes. It's kind of interesting, but they're about to put season 2 out. But it was kind of to your point of.
I just texted John. I was like, Yellow Jackets. Because I want to be like, what was that show called that Mike said earlier? I'll forget
Yellow
it.
Jackets. Yeah.
Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. So I'm like in the second or third episode now. It's kind of interesting. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Thrift store, really quick.
Yes.
They have a lot of medical equipment, adult diapers for men and women. That they typically have the packs of them. They're $6 or less, depending on the size of the pack.
Okay.
They have a lot of new shoes, new clothings on the racks. They do have a baby changing diaper station, or diaper baby changing, whatever it's called.
Changing the babies, not the diapers.
Yeah. The Gerber baby.
The new kid for this diaper. Here you go.
Right? Yeah. Okay. We're changing the kid to the diaper. And then they have a lot of baby stuff. High chairs, strollers, the little walkers, the things that are hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
That you only need for a couple months or a year or two. And then unless you have more kids, then,
right.
Yeah.
Or if you've got more kids and you got a set of twins and you were gifted one, come and get the other.
Well, and like certain things like car seats and stuff maybe lean towards new but like
we're
high
not
chair,
allowed to sell the car seats.
Yeah.
Just because they have to go through an inspection.
But things like the high chair or the playpen or the little seat that keeps them occupied while you're doing chores, that little rocking thing, that stuff that you can, but yeah, like when it comes to car seats, go buy new ones.
Yeah, buy new ones because we're not allowed to sell them
but
because they have to do.
and all the other accoutrements, bring it on.
Yes, and they got a ton of little kid toys, like for, young kids 1-2 years of age that are the
enrichment toys.
The enrichment toys where you got to put the square peg, square hole.
Oh, yeah.
The stuff that makes you realize shapes and squares and dots and circles and colors.
Yeah.
That helps starting the brain.
They still do the speak and says.
Yeah.
Or the.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I can't help but every time I see one to.
Yeah. Well, now I start. Like I remember those growing up, but then like in my teenage years.
They changed a little bit.
Like, well, that and then like they started like I was listening to like Korn or one of these like metal bands, and they did like in their song, it's like the cow says the devil goes, and so ever since then I'm like, now that thing's evil because now all I can think of is like a cow goes, the devil says, and you're like, whatever it is. It was one of them. But it was in my teenage years, so every time I think of that's what I think of now. But anyway.
But yes, they still do speak and says. And they have a lot of new style of toys that are, to teach. One of our friends, her grandbaby for Christmas, we got him. It's a soccer goalie, but it's also got a basketball hoop on it. And then it's got animals on the side. So when you play with them, they make the animal sounds.
Oh, cool.
And that's for a 2-year-old.
That's cool.
I'm like, wow, I don't want to play over here.
Can a 30-year-old play with this thing?
Yeah, right? And then they have just a lot of clothes.
Excellent.
They have winter clothes. They have summer clothes. They have spring clothes because our weather is,
You're going to need it all in 1 week.
Hold my beer because you're going to start out in your jacket. You're going to end in shorts, and then you're going to go to a parka at nighttime.
That's right. Yeah, and this week's but tomorrow you're going to be in parkas and everything. By Sunday, you're wearing shorts again.
Right. So they've got all seasons out.
What about business clothes? That's usually like dresses and.
They try to keep up with that as much as possible. They've got a lot of formal dresses that I saw because school dances are going to be happening.
We are getting to prom season and quinceañeras. The weather gets warmer. Quinceañeras and weddings and all that stuff.
Easter clothing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Easter. Yeah, Easter dresses.
Yeah, she's going to start bringing Easter stuff out soon. Since there's not going to be any, eggs or people can't afford, the eggs.
The only eggs going to be out there are plastic ones now.
Yes, or potatoes. I've been seeing a lot of memes about potatoes.
Yeah. Hopefully Cadbury eggs are okay.
Yeah. I do have a quick announcement for Roswell Seed, though. The company that they ordered their baby chicks through was affected by the bird flu.
So no chicks?
There's not going to be any chick orders for Roswell Seed this year because they were out of Clovis, and so in order for them to get the baby chicks to them safely and not deceased, they have to stick with the close company.
Gotcha. So hence the
next closest place was like 9 hours away, and that's not safe to ship them through the postal
that's a long
service.
haul to get chicks, and for any risk and health factors for the animals and things like that. So, which is not good either. So no chicks for 2025.
Yeah, no chicks for 2025. I'm not sure if there's other places out there doing it, but I know Roswell Seed, unfortunately, this year is not going to be able to order chicks.
Well, I'm going to take a stab that similar suppliers for this part of the region are facing the same challenges you guys are. So, we got to ship them from a farther place, which is too risky for,
right.
Maybe not, but I'm going to take a stab that's not unique to Roswell Seed.
No, it's really not. It's really not. As long as I can remember, they've always had chicks. Mm-hmm. So, and there's baby chicks when there's bees.
Yeah, this is the eggs and everything. So
Yeah. So they're gonna start bringing out their Easter stuff early, so that way, if they have any plastic eggs that people want to come and start getting early, because I'm sure the stores are gonna be selling quite a bit of them.
Oh yeah, they already are. I've already hit the Walmarts and seen the Easter candies already going up and in droves.
Honestly, I was at Walmart this weekend and paid no attention.
I was in there Saturday, maybe. Yeah, I was in there with it.
I paid no attention.
And I happened to walk.
I have a list. I get what I got, and I get out.
Reese's eggs just show up to me like bad pennies. They just turn up. There's Reese's eggs in there. They always show up.
You know what? The best tasting Reese's cup is the Easter.
I do. That's my favorite. The Easter egg.
The Easter egg.
The best form of the
and then the Christmas tree.
Christmas tree's good too, but the egg is my one seed.
Yep.
I like the egg better than the cup
because the egg is creamier.
Well, it's more. The chocolate to peanut butter ratio is different with the egg than it is the cup.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's more peanut butter in the egg.
See, and to me, I think there's more peanut butter in the cup than the egg.
So I think it's the other way around. I think they put, especially the regular, not lava or any of these, just a regular plain cup. I feel like they've thickened the chocolate in there, and there's a less, like the cavity for peanut butter is smaller. It seems like to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like a 50-50 ratio.
Yeah.
Like they have like 50 chocolate, 50 peanut butter.
And now they got like versions that are more peanut butter heavy or more chocolate heavy, depending on your...
I want the good old fashioned just Easter egg cup.
Now, don't get me wrong. If you had the lava one...
Oh, yeah, you're the chocoholic.
Oh, dang. That's good. Gooey chocolate mixed with a peanut butter cup is a 10.
Okay. This is so not animal related, but I was at the store right before Super Bowl, and I saw this interesting package of Oreo cookies. And it says shortbread, salted caramel, and then I saw Post Malone.
Oh, we tried those.
Those things are like crap.
Yes, Sean brought some in last week.
Yeah.
They are very good.
They are very, very good.
Yes.
And
although they're rich.
You can only eat a few
That's
at a
the
time.
thing. Like it came in like a one sleeve. I'm like, you would be in a sugar coma if you ate that whole sleeve. Or at least I would be.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to Sam's this weekend, and then they had the box. And my sister's like, get the box. And I'm like, I don't want the box. Well, my sister put the box in the cart. The Oreos magically appeared in my cart.
And then they got different designs on them, if you noticed. Like,
yeah, there was a guitar on one.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think mine had a pickup truck. And then,
each cookie has a different design.
Yeah. I think the one I had was a pickup, and then I can't remember what Sean and Jocelyn's had. But yeah. Because they're very good, but I remember they're rich.
Did yours have salt in it, like actual chunks of salt?
I'm trying to remember. I don't recall, but
the ones from Sam's Club,
yeah,
the little 2-packs, because you only eat a few of them things.
Right.
They had chunks of salt in with the salted caramel, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. That's not like the ones I got at Sam's or at Albertsons."
I recall seeing that maybe. And Sean got his at like a convenience store.
And see, I got the first pack at Albertsons. That's where I discovered them, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I feel like he found them at like Murphy's or
probably.
Or, what's the
one but if you want to become a diabetic, eat those.
Already beat you to that punch, but
yeah, I don't want to be a diabetic, but those things are so good.
They are very good. If you're a salted caramel or an Oreo fan, that's a good one.
Like I could have Oreos maybe once, twice a year, and that's it.
Those you gotta hankering for.
And then those, I'm like, oh god, these things have to stay around.
Yeah. You know what? If I was the Girl Scouts, I'd start
Post Malone.
Yeah, start getting there and say, hey, maybe we need to create a new flavor.
Yeah.
And go that route. You'd be you might beat the
short
Thin Mints.
bread with sour or salted caramel.
Yeah.
Oh.
You might beat the Thin Mints or the what do they call them? Caramel Delights now? Whatever Samoas used to be called.
Caramel Delights. Yeah. The Samoas are the original.
Yeah, those are good. Anyway, we better wrap this up.
Yes.
But it's still under distemper, no dog adoptions.
Cats are available.
And of course, thrift store. We've got great deals on clothing right now, and of course, check back. There's always great deals every time. And don't forget, every time you're shopping at that thrift store, you're not only saving yourself a pretty penny, but you're helping out all
come
the
in before St. Patrick's Day. We're gonna do the Luck of the Irish week.
Oh, cool.
We're going to do something cool for the thrift store for the week before St. Patrick's Day.
So be on the lookout.
Yes.
Get your lucky pennies ready. And your corned beef. You a corned beef fan?
No.
No.
I like corned beef with cream cheese and pickles.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's odd, but
not cabbage. Yeah. No, actually, one of my old employees who's from Minnesota used to make that as like a snack when we'd have potlucks.
Okay.
You get the corned beef, and then you soften the cream cheese, and then you get just like the little pickle spears or the whole pickles, and then you roll them, and then you slice it like a pinwheel.
Yeah.
Oh, they're freaking great.
Good. I'm not a huge pastrami fan, but I love corned beef.
That's the only way I like corned beef is with my pickles and cream cheese.
Yeah. No, I generally love a good, Reuben or whatever. I'll eat that corned beef, but I love corned beef. I'll eat it anyway. I don't care.
I don't know.
Roast.
I don't know. I guess I didn't grow up with it that much to have it.
Yeah. Well, I've got enough Irish in me, so.
My family was all deer and game. And I'm like, well.
No. Michael Patrick here. He's about as Irish as you get. That's my middle name. I'm Michael Patrick. I'm about as Irish as you get.
That's too funny.
But please visit the thrift store. Shop there. Don't forget Wednesday's New Stuff Day. So here
that'll be tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's right. We're Tuesday now.
Yeah, we're off this week.
So
sorry.
Tomorrow. Yeah, they are closed today, but we'll open tomorrow at 10 a.m. there for your
and your 10 a.m. club. Somebody got to bring hot cocoa because it's going to be colder tomorrow than it is today.
Might need Coke. Yeah, if you want to get in on the 10 o'clock club, maybe a trip to Starbucks or whatever.
Dunkin'.
Yeah, Dunkin' or wherever.
7 Brew.
Yeah, wherever your favorite beverage place is. Bring a stack of them. So. They might even let you cut in line. You never know.
They might.
And of course, please. And now, as far as you guys aren't even intaking animals right now, and none of that, so you can't even.
So luckily, the 2 that we've had issues with have been designated in just the quarantine area. So obviously all new animals go into quarantine. So until I know my quarantine area is clear, I can't take anything in. And just to be safe, we're not doing any adoptions because even though we clean and sanitize and we're extra cautious, we don't want
create a contagion.
Yeah, we don't want to accidentally send something home.
Now, that being said, if you're missing a pet or don't hesitate to call and ask.
Yes, you're welcome to call because we are taking lost and found reports.
They're trying to triage, but they just literally can't intake animals into the shelter. You know, we're working things. You know, we have volunteers like, hey, can you take a pet for the night? Or if you have those kinds of circumstances, please call. They will help you any way, shape, or form they can to try to navigate. But like you said, we just can't adopt and we can't take in new pets right now. So if you do have pets that are, you're trying to, adopt out or can't, I get it. You're helping some things and you can't take care. Hold on to them for a little longer till we get this.
Yes,
this
just call and we'll explain to you the same thing, restarted 15 days. So until we don't have anybody else having issues, then we'll be in the clear.
We got to keep it's the COVID test. You got to keep taking it till it comes back negative, and then you can move on about your day.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of what we're dealing with here. So, but that could be another week. It could be another month. It just depends on, a lot of variables. People start being responsible and cleaning up after themselves. That'll cut this down.
Mm-hmm.
Limiting these adoptions, and the weather will help. Nicer weather will help a little bit with some of it.
We need some frigid cold weather to freeze.
You know what? Maybe this week might be our best friend. A couple of nights of 19 might be good for killing bacteria. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So. Excellent. Well, thank you as always, ma'am. And safe travels tomorrow as you're stomping out more fires.
Yeah, it's going to be
floods.
It's going to be cold.
Right. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
9:55. Let's pause for local news, Hannity, and your Chaves County sports. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news updates. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Stalling, with optimism slumping because of worries about tariffs and other potential policies from Washington. Sales of previously occupied U.S. homes fell in January as rising mortgage rates and prices put off many would-be home buyers despite a wider selection of properties on the market. The layoffs of roughly 7,000 Internal Revenue Service probationary workers could likely mean the end of the agency's plan to go after high-wealth tax dodgers and could spell disaster for revenue collections. That's according to some experts. Ford is recalling about 240,000 Explorer and Lincoln Aviator SUVs due to a problem with seatbelt anchors that were improperly secured. It's for the model years 2020 and 2021. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The Artesia Historical Museum and Art Center is holding their annual Quilters exhibit. Plenty of great works on display from members of the local Quilters Guild. Admission is free. The Artesia Historical Museum is located at 505 West Richardson Avenue. The hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a 1-hour lunch break at noon. Work now beginning on the 2nd and Richardson Road construction project in Artesia. The city says the work will be carried out in 3 phases that will run through August. The project involves road rehab, sidewalk repairs, and work on new ADA ramps. And the city of Artesia says it doesn't mind people picking pecans from trees in city parks and walkways, but they ask that you please do not throw items at the tree branches to knock off pecans. Throwing items at the tree branches often breaks the branches and damages the trees. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Really warm today. We have upper-level high pressure over the southwestern states. Lots of sunshine, and we're headed for the low 80s on the afternoon high. Wind at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Not too bad. Clear for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 30s, and then we'll stay in the upper 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday, and sunny. Cooling off a little bit more for Wednesday, sunny and upper 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Have you experienced the Valley Cafe yet? It's much more than lunch or dinner. It's an experience. Chef Anthony Noble is a nominated Chef of the Year and manager with a 4.9 out of 5 kitchen cleanliness rating and a 4.8 out of 5 most loved rating. It's time for you to experience the difference that so many others already have at the Valley Cafe. Visit for lunch or dinner at 801 West Brasher, the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. And save the Valley Cafe in your contacts. 575-755-EATS. 575-755-3287. Don't forget, we can cater your event too, and a portion of our proceeds go to the Dream Center in Roswell.
If you suffer from pogonophobia, you would not want to attend a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. A nationally known conservative commentator and former law enforcement officer is joining the Trump administration.
Dan Bongino, a former Secret Service agent and conservative pundit, has been chosen to serve as FBI Deputy Director. President Trump announcing on social media, Bongino was a man of incredible love and passion for our country. Bongino would serve under Kash Patel, who was sworn in Friday as FBI Director and has signaled his intent to reshape the Bureau. Bongino was born in New York City and was an NYPD officer before joining the Secret Service. He then went on to work for Fox News before leaving to start his own show. I'm Julie Walker.
Federal workers facing a deadline this week. Elon Musk's Doge team directing them to report 5 specific things, bullet points of what they accomplished last week, or face possible dismissal. There is some confusion over the order, though, with some agencies telling employees to hold off on responding to the order. As the Trump administration pursues talks with Russia aimed at ending the war in Ukraine, a dozen leaders from Europe and the Canadian Prime Minister are visiting Kiev, marking the 3rd anniversary of the Russian invasion. Ukrainian President Zelensky says he's willing to resign if it would end the bloodshed and bring Ukraine into NATO. Layoffs are coming to Starbucks, the global coffee chain planning to pink slip 1,100 corporate employees worldwide. A Mississippi sheriff's deputy is dead after being shot while responding to a call. It happened last night at a residence in the small town of Terry. It's about 15 miles southwest of Jackson, Mississippi. Pope Francis remains in critical condition, hospitalized for 10 days for a lung infection and early-stage kidney failure, which is said to be under control. Wall Street, the Dow is up 23 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass ousted the fire chief late last week amid a public rift over preparations for a potential blaze and finger-pointing between the chief and City Hall over responsibility for the devastation 6 weeks after the start of the most destructive wildfire in city history.
Bass, a first-term Democrat, said she's removing Chief Kristen Crowley immediately. She told reporters at City Hall, quote, "Los Angeles needs to move forward. This is a new day." While Bass initially praised Crowley in the early hours of firefighting, she said she later learned that an additional 1,000 firefighters could have been deployed the day the blaze ignited. The firefighters union sharply criticized Bass's decision and echoed the former chief's concerns over the department's staffing and funding. Bernie Bennett reported.
Reports out of Bangladesh say a group of residents attacked an Air Force base. Soldiers opened fire, killing at least one and wounding several others. The military blames miscreants for attacking the military base. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Alabama Supreme Court refuses to block the execution of a man who's been on the state's death row for a very long time.
The court has authorized the execution of Robin Myers, who was convicted in the 1991 killing of his neighbor, Ludie Mae Tucker. A jury member at his 1994 trial is among those urging Governor Kay Ivey to consider clemency and leave Myers in prison for the rest of his life. The execution will be carried out by nitrogen gas at a date set later by the governor's office. Jason Walker reporting.
Texas pipeline company Energy Transfer is suing Greenpeace, accusing it of defamation, disruptions, and attacks during protests against the Dakota Access Pipeline. Greenpeace says the lawsuit, which goes to trial today in North Dakota, threatens free speech rights and its very future. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Buenos Monday.
See.
Hope you're having a wonderful Monday so far.
Welcome to it.
Look on the bright side.
Yes.
There's a bright side.
It's a bright side. You are woken up on the bright side.
It's a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
That's right.
84.
Most mornings when I wake up, it's completely pitch black. You wake up right around now, waking up on the bright side.
Nary a cloud in my view of the sky today.
Nary a cloud.
Yeah. I might see something over there.
Well, all right, Captain Pessimist.
Could be just you know what? That's the antenna. Never mind.
Yeah.
Nary.
That is, nary. We need to start bringing back words like nary. Hitherto.
I'm sure many. I haven't. The new 19 season of 1923. I guess they put it up on Prime. Oh, not Prime. Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
over the weekend.
Saw the advertisement for it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, how'd the first season end? It's been like a minute.
It's because Sheridan puts out so many different, like 1923.
Yeah.
Then there's 1890 or something like that.
1887.
Yeah, something. So it's all these different timelines you got to keep track of, and yeah, it's to be expected.
Well, not to mention he's also got Lamb Man.
Yeah.
The Bass Reeves, the Mayor of Kingstown, the Tulsa Kings, the one with the Secret Service, not Secret Service, CIA. What's that one called? I can't remember. It's also on Prime.
One thing that might help you, so you don't have to go back and like rewatch 1923, the first season or whatever. Go on YouTube and pretty much any series you can find a last season recap.
Okay.
Like I think that's what I'm going to have to do before I restart Cobra Kai. Like now that it's in the can.
I have seen it.
You have finished it?
I have finished Cobra Kai.
Okay.
Yeah, I finished it. I mentioned a little bit. I think it was the day you're out sick last week, and
yeah. So now that's finished. I'm gonna.
How much have you not seen?
I saw the season. Like I think I saw half the season. That what's his face? The main character is like paralyzed or injured. Oh, wow. I saw the first half of that season after he fell off the balcony.
Oh wow, you're way behind.
Yeah, I'm like 3 seasons behind.
You don't know about what they call it? Oh man, the tournament at the end. It's
I know some.
It's
I know
very rhymey.
some of what happens. Like I know that see, all these names are escaping now. And Johnny goes on to marry Homeboy's mom. I know that part.
There's so many different layers of twists and turns that you have not seen yet. Yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't even begin to try to. But I will tell you this, and this is what I said at the yesterday after watching the series in its entirety and now seeing it from beginning to end. I enjoyed it overall.
Yeah.
It was a cool, fun story.
And I definitely enjoyed it, from what I saw. I got on other things and had never got back to it.
And so, and what they did was this last season, they kind of broke up. They gave you like 6 episodes and they said, we'll finish it here. And then, in March or whenever, February, I guess. And that's when they put it out here. The last, I think it's 5 episodes or whatever was left there. And so I watched them because they're 30-minute episodes or whatever. You can watch them in a couple hours. So we binge watched it last weekend. But anyway, that last series of episodes they give you, I think it put a nice bow on the whole story. It gave you a good ending. And the thing that I liked about it is the show. You watch the whole show, and of course, Daniel LaRusso's character. That character is always the main character in the Karate Kid world. And it is. And to be honest, the last part, he's not. And it fits.
Okay.
Like, I want to remind everybody, the show isn't called The Karate Kid.
Right.
The show's called
Cobra Kai.
And it ends as the way it should.
Okay.
The show's called Cobra Kai.
There you go. So it
I
puts more of a focus on the actual...
It's a Cobra Kai befitting ending.
On the dojo itself.
It's a happy ending for Cobra Kai.
Okay. Now, I'm curious, and I do want to try to get this in before I see the other thing, is I want to know how much of the Cobra Kai universe is going to work itself into this new Karate Kid that's coming out.
Is there another Karate Kid?
Have you not heard? Okay.
No,
so
I haven't heard the new.
There's a new Karate Kid coming out that has both Daniel LaRusso's character, or Ralph Macchio, and Jackie Chan and his character, like from the Karate Kid universe.
Okay. So is Jackie Chan the new Miyagi?
Kind of.
Like, that's because he plays Miyagi, right?
Well,
if I remember right.
In his
or is
movie,
he a different person?
He was essentially the Miyagi.
But was he Miyagi?
No.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
I think that maybe he's like a descendant of, like, he's like the nephew or something like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
He's Miyagi adjacent?
I'll be honest. And people say it's really
I've
good.
never seen the
I've never seen the
that one
Jaden Smith one.
I haven't either.
Never seen it. And I've heard people say I should go back and watch it. I will say this. The most underrated of the Karate Kids, the next Karate Kid, starring Hilary Swank.
Oh, I remember that
That
one.
movie, I loved that movie. People pan and hate that movie. I love that movie. Like,
It was, I don't remember, I remember feeling indifferent to it.
well, it came out at a time in my life
You
when
were sweet on Hilary Swank.
things were going through some changes, all right? I watched that movie like 30 times. We had it on tape, so I watched it just
I do remember
over
it
and
had
over.
Mr. Miyagi in it.
It had Miyagi in it.
Miyagi
yeah.
trained her.
And
Yeah.
he takes her to a monastery, and they take the monks bowling.
Is she related to LaRusso or any
No,
way, shape, or
there's
form?
no-
She's just another kid.
There's no tie-in with that.
Mr. Miyagi
Trained
takes
up.
under his wing, so
Mhm.
to speak.
Yeah.
So he's just living at this apartment in California, just taking kids and teaching them karate under his wing, and it's another Miyagi, hanging out with kids story.
I haven't seen it since adulthood. I would be genuinely curious to go back and watch it again to see if it holds up to my standard. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, thinking back on it, some of the acting is real bad. Like, there's a whole thing about Hilary Swank is taking care of this hawk that's like she found an injured hawk and she nursed it back to health. The hawk ends up becoming like a thing in the end. Spoiler alert. Where like the guy who's like trying to win her over, he's like, "Where's the hawk?" And he like screams it, and it's really bad acting. But I'd be curious to go back and check it out again because there's a lot of elements of that movie that stick in my head.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember seeing it. You know what I do remember? Thinking I liked it better than the third Karate Kid.
Okay, well that's not saying much.
Well, right, but that I remember saying, well, at least it's better than that one.
Right. Better than a turd sandwich. Fair enough.
Well, Karate Kid 1's good.
Karate Kid 1's fantastic. 2 was okay. Three was
decent.
3 was hard to get through, man.
2 had a lot of quotables.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
You know, all the stuff on Okinawa. A lot of quotables.
Most of the third movies in general aren't great. Like Back to the Future 3 was 2 was fantastic.
Right.
I'd argue 2 almost better than the first one. And that's a bit of a, I mean, I just think that there's more elements of it to be liked.
2 was a lot of, and if I remember right, 2 and 3 were filmed together. Like
yes.
Like they did them like all together in one big production.
They did 1 and then they did 2 and 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 3 was that was a tough one to get through.
I liked 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think
fair.
in the, I mean, I thought it was entertaining.
It just put more of it, because I mean, with the whole like Wild West of it all, it put like a kind of more of a. It felt like an episode of a TV show. Like, now let's see what happens when we take our wacky characters into this universe. You know. And in fairness, I'm a Rick and Morty fan, or I used to be, so I should.
See, to me, I thought that was funny because it's kind of like the Biff. You know what? Speaking of Biff, and I'm sure this has been out on the internet for a while, but I only saw it like Friday.
Right.
I guess, does Biff do
stand up?
Stand up?
Yeah.
He's got a song that it's like the Biff song, and it pretty much covers all the questions people ask him about Biff, and it's pretty funny.
And here's the kicker. I actually they talked about it on the bonfire because Big J Okerson did some work with the guy.
Yeah.
He's done a few shows, and he says it's really funny. His whole set, every single joke is Biff adjacent, has something to do with being Biff. And then as soon as he gets off stage in any kind of Q&As, he doesn't ever talk about, he never wants to talk about it. Like, if you ask him a Biff question, he will ignore you, or he'll give you a BS answer. Like, he hates it
But
in
he'll
real
cash
life.
a paycheck
But
talking about it.
he will capitalize the heck out of it.
Well, you don't want to accidentally give out his Biff in an interview.
You don't want to accidentally go into material.
But the song was funny, just not knowing anything, just seeing it on the internet. It was kind of funny. And it was pretty much addressing all but no, I'm not really like that. There's a whole thing to it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think, though, after all these years, change the look a little bit, buddy. I mean, I know it's what makes you
in
money.
all fairness, can you name any other thing that guy did that's not Biff?
No. No.
We're not talking about Biff or being Biff. Now, I know he's acted in other things, but no one... Like, if you go do your IMDb, you'll look and say, oh, yeah, he was guy number 7 in this episode of this.
The fact
or
that
he played
we haven't
someone's
said
buddy in a movie that no one ever saw.
The fact we haven't said his real name yet should say
I don't even
something.
know what Biff's real name is.
Not Big. Biff. Real name. All right. Real actor's name is Thomas F. Wilson. And God, he looks like Biff still. I mean, he leaned
he's Biff.
in. You can't really get away from that. But
Well, because you've seen him in every generation of Biff. And then they put like him in old version of him and young version of him. And he now kind of looks like the old version of him from Back to the Future 2.
Tom Wilson has enjoyed a prolific career in many different works. I think he does a lot of voice work now.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Well, we ain't seeing that.
Yeah, that's how he gets away with it. Of course, he goes in and he's like, I'm Biff,
Yeah, right.
That's so I'm guessing, probably a lot of VO work.
Okay.
So not bad.
All right.
It's a living.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to knock him, but I do find it fascinating that when people want to know about the one thing that they know about him, and he gets all salty about it, but then he goes to a stand-up bit, and that's all he does is do that. I say, you know what? You are open for ridicule, sir. If you're going to do that as a guest here, people get stealthily coming in, and I don't know. I didn't hear anything moving, so.
I don't see anybody yet.
All right, very good. No, it was. We do have the health council schedule. I wonder if we did a reversey okadoke now. Like I forgot last time, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's this," and I was like, "Oh yeah," and then I remember this time. I think she forgot. So we're going back and forth in the you forget.
Was
I
that one of
forget
those double
regular.
book situations, or
No, it's just we scheduled a thing, and then we ought to do. Yeah, let's do this, and then I forgot to write down the first time, maybe second time. So it's just routine.
I see.
It's the dance.
That's right. Delicate dance.
Delicate dance that is a morning show. But yes, well, we'll give her a few more minutes. If not, I'll rustle up something else. Kind of like bacon.
We also have some content, some of that delicious content. Let's see.
Another thing
the
I
kids
want
are in school. I can go jack it off now.
Ooh,
that's right. Stripping layers, ladies.
So, another thing in television
Mhm.
that I got through, and now I'm kind of delighted about, is I got through the first season of Yellow Jackets this weekend.
Yeah.
And so I watched it on Netflix. And there's 2 other seasons of it. And I was like, mm-mm. And I knew it was on Showtime. I don't have Showtime.
Right.
I do have Paramount Plus, but I got my Paramount Plus through Prime. It's like a channel through Prime. I'm 50. I don't know all the things. Sometimes I do things that are old people things, and that was one of those moves. Anyway, I was like, well, maybe I don't get it. And so I was on my thing, and I'm like, all right, let me. I finished the first episode. Let me look. And I go. I was like, it's a Yellow Jacket. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Season 2, episode 1, play episode. Yes, please. It's there.
Nice.
Yay! So
you're not
I've only
cut
watched
off.
a little bit of the first episode of season 2, but I am now.
So season 2 and 3 are on Plus.
Yeah. Well, all 3 are there.
Well,
but,
yeah, right.
But only season 1's on Netflix. The other 2
Okay.
are on Paramount Plus.
Because I'm gonna get rid of Plus. I mean, my contract runs out with him March 9th.
Well, get to watching. You got a week. It's I will tell you this. It is cringe.
Yeah.
Like the material, you're like, but you want to know what happens next. And the subject matter to me, I'm always that. I love apocalyptic. I've seen the movie Alive 137 times. I've actually watched the newer version of Alive. It's on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No.
It's in English.
Okay.
But there's a, what is it called? Hold on.
That's right. It's not Alive, right? It's like
it's not called Alive.
It's like Trapped or something like that.
No, it's got a longer name if I remember right.
I will say this. It seems like when a show has like a plot or an idea and they take this route where they go like paranormal or where they go like
Society of the Snow is the name of the movie.
Gotcha. But where they take like, a regular premise or regular plot that they have and then they turn it into this paranormal thing where like all of a sudden it's like, I'll give you a prime example. The show, and I stuck with it even after they did this, but I was real mad that they did this. The show Under the Dome.
Yes.
I loved that show. Loved that show until they started making it like an alien thing where it was like another dimension that was involved and like season, was it 2 or 3, whatever it was, went completely off the rails. Dwight Yoakam was there. I mean, stuff just started getting real weird.
Walking Dead did that a bit for me.
Yeah.
Like they did a little thing where like they went off the rails, but they also within going off the rails created things that also piqued my interest. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Whereas like the actual Walking Dead story, the main thing, I think they carried that a little too long. Like once we lost the main dude,
right?
And when the show became more about Daryl Dixon, which don't get me wrong, he's a cool character, I like it, but in the Walking Dead world, he does not exist.
Right.
Daryl Dixon is not a character in the
is-
Walking Dead graphic novels. He was created strictly for the show to fill some of the voids that were created with the TV show that they omit from the series and blah, 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 blah. But
Right.
anyway, and really by the end of the series, he's everyone else either died or moved on or whatever. And to be honest, when Rick left, it kind of Rick was your ringleader. Rick was your glue to that show. And when Rick left, I think it really. Now that being said, I do like that they created the MCU. Or not MCU, but the WDCU.
Right. The Walking Dead cinematic universe. Yeah.
Marvel gets just the generic Kleenex of it all. but because in the big scope of things, we're only seeing what's going on with a global apocalypse in basically Virginia, Georgia area.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean? And so that was kind of neat.
It
to
is
see.
interesting. Like, how's New Mexico handling all this?
Well,
you know?
yeah. And so some of the offshoot shows were neat, like the Rick one, where you learn a little bit more, how Rick faked, because Rick didn't die.
Right.
He was a helicopter got him, and he disappeared. And bye, Rick. And then he made another show saying, "Here's what happened to Rick."
Right.
And then Daryl got one too, where he left and he went to Europe, and he was over in France, and then they did a whole Europe thing, and that was a neat one to watch, which I recommend to check out.
It just feels like when you go that route, when you go the paranormal, I like the spin-off route, but when you go that paranormal route, it feels like an easy answer.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it's lazy writing. Like, well, we could just make it aliens, but like the dark side, like the dark forces or dark energy, whatever. And this is, again, I'm not trying to bring it back to pro wrestling, but being a pro wrestling fan, every single company out there has some faction that is, ooh, spooky, creepy, the lights go out before we come to the ring. Like every single one of them has that thing. And it's like, it just feels easy.
Right.
Like you could try something else.
Well, and to be honest, as I've gotten older, like some of that stuff is like some of it, it's like I'm realizing it's like sometimes you need the cheesy stuff to appreciate the better stuff. And I also realized too that when you're creating a fan base for a thing, you're trying to satiate all the fan base.
That's true.
And there's aspects of the thing that you hate, but other parts of the fan base love. And so what you find cheesy is the creamy thing that makes the other person love them.
Right.
So as I've gotten older, I've gotten more cognizant of that. And I'm like, all right, okay.
Cast a wider net.
Yeah, so sometimes I have alter my own. Like, yeah, that's not my cup of tea, but I can overlook it to get to the part I really want, And so that's I'd like to say I'm maturing.
Most don't. I like to say
it. My wife heard to say you're starting to act like an actual normal person now. I guess he's not our guest.
No, he's not our guest.
Let's do this. It's 8:26. Let's take a pause for weather and a 3-minute commercial break. During that time, I will figure out something to play here, and we will rustle up something for the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters. We'll be back after this.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Really warm today. We have upper-level high pressure over the southwestern states. Lots of sunshine, and we're headed for the low 80s on the afternoon high. Wind at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Not too bad. Clear for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 30s, and then we'll stay in the upper 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday, and sunny. Cooling off a little bit more for Wednesday, sunny and upper 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University Roswell. Success starts here.
Space, the final frontier.
Hi, Captain. You can choose your space at Main Trailer Sales.
Fascinating. Don't cling on to that old camper. The logical choice. New Durangos, Montanas, Cougars, and Passports from Main Trailer Sales. They allow space and comfort. Boldly explore like never before.
Beam on board to that perfect camper.
Don't go camping without us. Live long and explore.
Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without us.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Great news, Roswell. Your friends at Roswell Ford have the best relationship advice ever. Break up and do it right now.
Really?
Yes. Break up with your old beater and upgrade for a less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. Right now, everybody gets friends and family pricing on all new and quality pre-owned vehicles with up to $8,000 off MSRP on new Fords with 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Making payments on your current car, truck, or SUV and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your current lease or loan, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if your credit is less than perfect. Huge savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is $13.89 per thousand financed. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:30, and since our guest didn't make it in here this morning, I've got an interview that's about 24 minutes with the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office we had last Tuesday, talking about 4-H, stuff going on with the extension clubs and through the home ec side, as well as stuff with the ag side, too. So here is our interview with the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office. Enjoy. If your uncle's got one of those things, you might want to, and he don't work in the shoe industry, just saying, might want to. Red flag. Good morning. It is 24 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Extension Office, the whole staff.
Yeah, I finally made it back.
That's right. Drew's back.
It's been a minute.
And Katie and Tamara as well. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ooh, in unison and everything. Wow, this is good. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. But so how's life at the Extension Office?
It's going good.
Busy time.
Yeah, it is. It's starting to pick back up as we had a few warmer days, and now we're getting cold again. But it has been.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the ag world, people are blowing up your phone. Like, hold, you know. Is it like Braveheart right now?
Yeah.
Hold. Temperature's not there yet.
No. Soil temperatures aren't there yet. We'll get those soil temperatures out in April, and you'll start seeing those temperatures climb. But
don't let the weather fool you. Just because it's going to be 80 one day and 20 the next, it's not time to be putting anything in the ground.
But if you are excited about planting and growing this year, March 15th, Gardening at the Library is going to be on planting from seed. So if you're looking at starting that garden or offsetting some of your grocery costs, this is going to be the Gardening at the Library that you want to make it to.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, produce from your backyard tastes better than produce from the grocery
store. Oh, 100%. 100%.
You can't beat it.
No.
You know, so pick veggies and fruits that you like.
Yeah.
And then they're in season. I mean, don't try to grow something that ain't, in season.
Don't plant it today.
Yeah. So my pro tip is, like, if you don't like tomatoes, don't plant 70,000 tomatoes.
Exactly.
But this is the thing. But you come to the classes, and you guys come, is it the second?
So it's the third Saturday of the month at the library at 10 o'clock. And so, like I said, this one will be on planting from seed, which can always be a little bit tricky. And so it should be a great program, great presentation, and it should be beneficial to everybody.
And I'm not a master gardener. I'm not even a gardener.
Well, you can always sign up next year, Mike.
Yeah. Well, and I got in trouble, so I need to clarify that.
Oh, yeah.
I got yelled at a little bit because because I was kind of trying to talk about the master gardener class and talking about, I guess I was giving off the thing saying it's only for people that, and I was trying to say it's just, no, anybody can do it, but it's not designed for, you got to be into gardening.
You got to be committed. It is a full commitment because it is 16 weeks and there's a different topic each week.
Yeah.
Since they did move to an online format, it has become a little bit easier to get through it because you can do it on your own time, sort of at your own pace. I mean, you've got to get through each topic in a week, but as long as you can set a couple hours a week aside, you can get through it, and it's phenomenal. It really is great information, especially if you're interested in anything gardening, horticulture related.
It's just a lot of information.
It is a lot.
So if you're just looking for like a put seed in ground, put water, this is not that class.
Correct.
It's going to be a little bit more elaborate.
It is. It is. So it is a commitment, but trust me, the information you get out of it is going to benefit you greatly.
But anybody that has an interest, please sign up. It is not just for that. So that was the misconstrued that I was putting out there.
Yeah, no,
I had to fix that.
It's all right. Well, we appreciate you correcting.
But that being said, I'm going to say when you learn the seeding from seedling, I'm gonna, because I don't have the skills here, but I'm thinking that's not something you put right in the ground right away. That's something you like starting like a little. Like if you could afford them a carton of eggs.
In some...
the container from
occasionally you can find one of those in the trash that you can
toilet paper rolls.
Right?
Toilet paper
rolls. Yeah, so you can find it cost effective in places. So a lot of times we are, especially if you want to be able to harvest a little bit earlier, a lot of times you're going to start indoors in a small container, get them established, and then transplant them later into your garden outdoors when the temperatures hit the right.
Yeah, but then again, learn that and other great tips in the library come up, and that'll be the March one here.
Yes, March 15th.
Yeah, and so because we just had the February one, right?
Yes, and so we went over pruning because we are hitting the tail end of our pruning season. So you definitely want to be trimming up those trees while it is in the dormant period. That is the best time. You can trim year round, but it's easier and less stressful on the tree.
Gotcha.
And so you're going to keep the health of the tree a little bit better intact by trimming now while they are in their dormant phase.
Kind of funny. I caught the pun, tail end of pruning. That was kind of fun.
Yeah,
I caught it. What about with insect pesticides? And isn't this that time of year where they do a lot of the certifications and things like that?
So there are some certifications. That's going to be on NMDA's website. So with us, if you're wanting CEUs, so continuing educational units, a lot of the conferences are going to have some.
Okay.
So one that's coming up here in March, the 2nd through the 4th, is going to be the Pecan Conference in Las Cruces. Man. Yeah, it is. Right? It's a great industry. It's a booming industry. And, I mean, New Mexico is killing it on the pecan market. I mean, we're number 1, number 2. And right now, it is a great time for pecans. In fact, a lot of our producers here in New Mexico have really been leading the charge for U.S. pecans, and I know a few of our producers here in the valley have actually been making trips with other representatives to India to try and boost our marketability of pecans in India.
They're shipping nuts to India.
Yep. I mean, that's
Asia
a huge untapped market, and it's so far looking really great, and they're making a lot of commitments about purchasing U.S. pecans.
Excellent.
So it's a great thing that we're doing, and the pecan industry, I mean, pecans are just delicious, so it's not too hard to sell, but you got to get the pecans onto
the
people's
weevil
plates.
stuff going? Are they getting that tapped down?
So, right now, when you're picking up your pecans, make sure you're looking for those little BB-sized holes in your pecans. This is the time to be looking for that. Make sure that whoever you take to process your pecans and shell them is certified by NMDA to be looking for them. So don't just use random places. Make sure they are certified.
Is there still the quarantine on the private?
We're still quarantined across, everybody. Gotcha. And so we definitely want to get that under control. NMDA, as I said last year, is confident that as long as we're diligent here in Chaves County, that we have potential to get out of the quarantine. However, we have to show that there are no weevils left. There's still a few sites where there are still some weevils, and they are, luckily for Chaves County, they're located within urban Roswell.
Okay.
And so they're not in our orchards. There are some other places.
It's a good thing it stays in the city.
Yeah, so like Otero County, they found it in a working orchard.
And that's when you got to worry about getting commercial crops, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
That's what we're trying to avoid, because it could really do a number on our industry.
Then things like India go away.
Well, it doesn't go away, but it reduces.
It really hurts.
It definitely reduces the value
of
what New Mexico can produce.
Oh, sorry, we got a bunch of weevils. You can't have them.
No, well. But that is one of the things we definitely want to keep it out of our orchards because that helps reduce the amount of insecticides and things that we have to spray in our pecans.
Sure. Yeah, the more we can do this, the less you have to go nuclear on some of these things to do that.
And I mean, it's one of the big reasons since New Mexico's not in the native range of pecans, we don't have a lot of the diseases and insect pressures that they do within the native range.
So we kind of get
And so, like Texas is in the native range of pecans, more on the east side than the west side, but they have twice as many acres of pecans as we do, and we produce twice as many pecans as they do.
But then the key is you got to stay vigilant because if you don't, then we do have the same.
Yes.
Because, that's how it works.
Correct. So when you're picking up your pecans, be looking for those BB-size holes. If you find some, let me know, and we can come take a look at them.
Absolutely. And let's get that rectified and get that fixed. And
yes.
They'll show you how to get the traps and the whole nine there.
That's it.
Yeah. You want to go talk home ec 4-H?
So I want to still talk gardening for just a little bit.
Okay.
So the Extension Clubs are going to host a winter and herb gardening session on March the 6th at 5:30. It's Thursday, that first Thursday in March. So Drew's going to come teach it for us.
Nice.
So anybody that's interested in coming, tagging along, call the Extension office and reserve a seat.
Yeah, want to grow some herbs and things like that and, do your own seasoning.
Yeah.
So when you've decided, hey, this squash I grew is pretty good.
And it's so
Throw some seasoning on
nice.
it.
It's so nice not to have to run back to the grocery store for those herbs that you realize that you don't have for that meal when you're growing them right there. You got some fresh.
Fresh herbs are really different than the dried herbs and
so
stuff
much better.
The spices that we find in the store.
Oh,
they
yeah.
cook differently. They taste differently.
Absolutely. Yeah, that stuff that's dried up in the little powders and that's
it's good, but
it works.
It's
but
not.
it's not
fresh.
It's like eating, a fresh piece of fruit versus, canned fruit. Doesn't taste the same, does it?
No.
Well, and herbs are one of those things that almost anybody can do, whether it's on a windowsill or a porch pot or anything like that. You don't have to have a big space for them.
They're pretty forgiving too, generally, right? Like you can be a little. I'm not saying encourage it, but you could be a little forgetful with your watering schedules and things, and
in some
still
of them
be all
for
right
sure.
here.
Yeah.
I'm that would be now, but like I'd be curious, like, because that's my problem is I don't know, like, what herbs to start with, and I think that's where you got to go.
Well, Mike, it sounds like you got to show up.
I know, but I mean,
March 6th.
I was going to make a bad joke about. I was going to make a bad joke about what plant does salt come from, but I was like, nah, I'll think better. What's a salt tree?
The salt cedar is actually along the Pecos River.
Too far.
But that does sound pretty cool, because that way you've got your, I always see like those, like usually around Christmas time when you're looking to buy gifts for people and usually they'll see like a little herb garden.
Yes, little sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can make your own without it being that, Mr. Potato Head looking. So
the chia heads.
Right.
Unless you're into that, then it's more than fine.
Absolutely. Although that wouldn't be bad if you could do the chia pets, but chia
makes me think of my bad joke from the raised garden bed.
We're good. Do you want to talk a little 4-H?
Sure.
All right.
So before we dive into what's coming up, I've got some thank yous. So we went to Santa Fe to 4-H Day at the Roundhouse with our council officers.
Nice. They got to meet legislators.
They sure did. We had some spectacular visits with our legislators. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
Did they get to go and see like various entities around, like the courts, and like seeing how some of the sausage made in the courts and all that?
We went to the state land office. We saw both the House and the Senate. And there was one other place we went. I don't know. I've slept since then.
Right.
But it was spectacular.
Whirlwind.
They had a great time, learned a lot, and our legislatures are very, very invested in our youth. And I'm very thankful for that.
Well,
so
I'm going to take a stab at maybe one or two of those students might be one of those people one of these
I
days.
hope so. I really, really hope so. We also had a livestock day this last Saturday. So we brought in some presenters, which were mostly our superintendents for the Chaves County Fair.
Awesome.
And they shared with our youth just about getting started. If you want to show this, that, or the other, how do you get started? What do you look for? How do I set up a pen? How do I... The little things that get overlooked, right? If you're a senior showman, you know that you need to have this size water tank and your fence needs to look like this. But for those kids getting started,
Right.
it's difficult. And that's something that we kind of look over sometimes. So we had great attendance for that. And I just want to say a huge thank you to all those presenters, people that helped, volunteered. That was wonderful. So very thankful for that. It is still enrollment season. So
come on down.
If you want to do cool, fun things, this is the place to do it. We are pretty well in full swing for all of our workshops and just kind of rotating in and out of those 207 different projects. So
let me ask, if say someone wanted to join today, is it too late to show animals? Like say they wanted to show animals in the fair season this year. Can they start today and start that process, or is that going to be another year before they can?
So technically, yes. There are ownership deadlines for different breeds and stuff like that to be aware of, but absolutely enrollment is still open. Come stop by, fill out a piece of paper. It's pretty easy.
Good deal. Now, and of course, if you want nothing to do with animals and stuff, there's still plenty of other 4-H opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. We did Rocketry Friday.
Yeah, I was saying you could.
I'm sure there's some kind of bad joke in there, but I'm not going to hunt it down.
The cow jumped over the moon, something like that. I mean,
something. Maybe.
But yeah, the 4-H is very much about agriculture and farming and ranching, but it's very much not about that too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much leadership. And if you're looking for even say maybe you love shooting sports, maybe that's part of 4-H. If you love, like you said, rocketry and computers, things like that's part of 4-H as well too. So.
Yes, and we are in full swing shooting sports season. So we've got a few different disciplines, archery, rifle, shotgun, pistol, air rifle, and hunting skills. So if that's something you're interested in, I know there's not a lot of places that offer that anymore. And we do, and it's a very safe learning environment for those types of things.
Those are the main focus. Could be passions for these kids the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
And so remind folks age groups, how young they can sign up and give kind of all that good
So our Clover Buds start at 5. They're non-competitive just because they're the littles, and we want to encourage them to keep doing awesome things.
Sure.
And then
you're introducing them to stuff, so it's more of an introductory, not a competitive. It's like, hey, these are things you can do when you get a little bigger.
Exactly. And then we finish up around 18, 19 years old, depending on when their birthday falls.
Sure. But and obviously a lot of these kids go on for scholarships and things.
Absolutely.
Especially if they rise through the ranks of leadership through 4-H, and then they start learning, Robert's rules, parliamentary procedure, things that, and next thing you know, they're competing for scholarships and speeches, and next thing you know, they're state senators and state reps and U.S. senators and U.S. reps and things like that. But 4-H has got a lot of opportunities through that stuff. So maybe come down to the extension office and see what niche of 4-H works best for you.
Absolutely. We do have, I'm going to call it our 4-H trial at the library. That is open to anyone and everyone. You don't have to be enrolled. So that is, the second and third Wednesdays.
Second in Roswell, third Wednesday in Hagerman.
Okay.
Yes. And so this month we are doing housing and interior design.
Nice.
And then next month is beekeeping. So lots of exciting things going on. No, I'm not bringing bees.
No bees.
I know where some are.
Drew might be bringing bees.
We are bringing bee wax.
Yes,
they get to do their own candles
bee
and things
products.
like that. Yes.
We've got
honey?
some diagrams and
like I'm here for the honey,
things, right? The tasty stuff,
right? Ain't nothing better than local honey. Better for you too, because that's like you get honey like where you're from. Like they say, is better for like allergies and stuff like that, because now it's only really works if it's your local, like where you grow. Because they're pollinating off things near you. That's the don't get me wrong. Eating honey from Texas is tasty, but you won't get those same benefits.
Yeah,
you move to Texas.
That orange blossom honey's delicious, but you're not gonna.
And honey's good forever. Do not throw away honey.
No, even when it looks like it's dried
when it
out,
looks nasty.
Just heat up some water. Take the water off the heat, but then you can put that jar of honey in the water, and it will reconstitute back to honey. And so don't chunk it. It doesn't go bad.
Yeah.
It literally nothing can grow in it as far as bacteria and stuff. It's amazing. Yeah. It is amazing.
It is. It's a magical elixir.
I know.
I guess we'll call it that. I don't know.
Something.
Kind of thick. But very good. But point is, 4-H has got a lot of great opportunities, and honey's delicious.
Yes.
Speaking of delicious, let's go. Let's talk extension stuff. How's with? I know this is a lot of the. I think is a lot of the signups kind of had now, or is there still Like with like some of the, I think most of those signups are kind of past, haven't they?
So our Prevent T2 class, yes, sign up is, so keep it in mind for next year if they're interested. So that's a year-long program. Kitchen Creations, which is our diabetic cooking school.
That'll be here coming up pretty quick.
In March, yeah. So right around the corner. I do have a waiting list going. So if they're interested in getting information, yep. Call the office and get on that.
That does fill up quick. We tried to warn you a couple months ago, but yeah. But get on the waiting list. You never know. Someone might.
When another class pops up, then we call them first to see. Yeah.
But it is a great, especially if you're wanting to learn to enjoy things you love in a healthier, better for you way. You know, especially you've been diagnosed with diabetes, and you're like, oh, no more pizza, no more, ice cream, whatever it is. No. We got to present it in a different way, or maybe not eat so much of it. But that's what the class is about. It teaches you to live with diabetes in an enjoyable way, to find recipes and things that doesn't make you feel like you're sacrificing. That's what it's all about. And of course, if you are, like I said, you can't sign up for the other class, but if you're needing information, resources, don't hesitate to come to the extension office. They'll be happy to set you up with, links to information, things. Or perhaps maybe there's an extension club that might kind of meet your needs in some of that stuff.
We're always looking for people that want to do things. So, yeah, give us a call in the office. Extension clubs are great.
Yeah.
If they're looking for a few other things to do around town, crafting for your mental health for our adults happens on the third Wednesday in Hagerman and the third Thursday here in Roswell at the Senior Circle. So we do offer those once a month. We go through some breathing techniques and ways to de-stress along with come craft with us. That's a great de-stressor in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm sure all of us can use a little break from the world sometimes.
Yeah. You don't have to be good at crafting either.
That's the beauty of it.
There is no right or wrong in our classes. Yeah.
Well, art is art.
Yes.
And to be honest, I like a lot of people think they aren't, but then if you give them the tools and you kind of say, just go to town, they're like, you're kind of more creative than you think you are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize it because you weren't.
Well, and sometimes we're looking for that masterpiece the first time out. And you may not hit the masterpiece that you're dreaming of the first time out, but you got to build those skills.
Coming out the gate here. Michelangelo wasn't Michelangelo coming out the gate. You know what I mean? It took a while to get Michelangelo to Michelangelo. Michelangelo sucked at one point. Remember that.
Words of wisdom from Mike Winters.
One time he sucked at painting. Then he got good. We all suck at it once, and then you get good. That's how it works. But yeah, come out and enjoy it, and that's really what the extension office is. If you're looking for resources through 4-H, or like you said, the extension clubs, it's like the joke is that's adult 4-H, where you get the chance to do things and meet people and socialize and de-stress and learn new skills and hobbies.
They're incredible cooks.
Yeah.
So even if you just like food,
right? Hang out with crafty people. They always can cook.
Yes. It is a craft.
It is. People that do crafts always can cook food too. You never see them going starving. But definitely. And of course, if you have any questions about the ag stuff, or if you need, please definitely come out to the Master Gardener those Saturdays out at the library. Those are great opportunities for you to kind of get tidbits and tips on how to make your gardens look pretty nice and flourished and be the envy of the neighborhood.
They're fantastic. And if you are interested in the Master Gardeners and missed the sign up this year, still come to our meetings. It's every second Wednesday at the Extension office at 5:30.
Yeah.
And so
you can learn by osmosis.
Yeah. You just come join in, see if it's for you, see if you're interested.
Sucks on you while you're hanging out in the room.
Yeah, just join us.
Absolutely. And the more you hang out, the more you get interested, the more you're going to want to do more.
Exactly.
And, so come out and hang out, and next thing you know, you're going to be in there mixing up with the rest of them.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to come on by. It's 200 East Chisholm.
Mm-hmm. Suite number 4.
Suite number 4. That's a victory. You guys get the phone number.
They can give us a call at the office at 622-3210.
By the time I get the address nailed, y'all are going to move to the new home.
Right.
So you're going to be in that for a year, and I'll be like, 200 East Chisholm? No. We moved. Yeah. But in the meantime, it's at 200 East Chisholm. And don't hesitate to call. And don't, all the extension stuff is through New Mexico State University. So if you type in Chaves County Extension, New Mexico State, it should pop right up on social media or Facebook there. Then you can like and follow. And then you can stay up to date on all these different events and things we're talking about. So definitely there. Is there anything we missed? Anything?
I'm sure.
We wanted to cover that we just spaced on? So if we missed it, you can come on by the extension office.
That's it.
And come on in and come for a visit. And if you got questions, like I said, even if you're just looking, hey, look, I just got diagnosed with diabetes. I'm looking for resources on, some foods and things. Come on down. That's, there's databases of information they can point you to online through the extension office, even if we can't get you into one of the classes or one of the events here in a timely fashion right now. So good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
And are we going to make the trifecta next month, or is this a unicorn situation?
No, I'm really hoping that I'm making it back.
I was going to say it's too early to tell.
TBD. Very good. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate
thank you, Mike.
And we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Even if it's, piecemeal.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully all of us.
That's right. Like the Three Migos. That would be awesome if you guys do that one time with the whole black sombreros and the suits.
I'm down.
I would be impressed. Three Amigos. You probably are too young for that, aren't you?
Oh, no. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. Are you kidding me?
Katie and you two are like, no.
Yes, ma'am.
Give it a shot. Watch the movie. Let's give it a shot. See, we can have a plethora of pinatas.
Would you say I have a plethora of beers?
All right, it is 8:48. Let's do news and commercials.
Picking pecans from trees in city parks and walkways, but they ask that you please do not throw items at the tree branches to knock off pecans. Throwing items at the tree branches often breaks the branches and damages the trees. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Basketball action on Friday night, and that was the end of the regular season. The district tournaments start tomorrow, and there was some notable unexpected turns on Friday night. For instance, the Roswell girls winning at home against Clovis 44-39. Roswell gets its first district victory, but they've still got to play on the road tomorrow in the district tournament at Carlsbad. That starts at 7 o'clock. Also in girls basketball, it was Goddard losing at home to Artesia 56-41. Goddard will play at top-seeded Portales tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Boys basketball, Goddard wins that battle against Artesia at home 45-40. Goddard will be playing at Lovington tomorrow at 6:30. And it was Roswell beating up on Clovis in boys basketball 77-45. They'll play at Hobbs tonight at 6 o'clock. That'll determine the top seed in the district tournament. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Really warm today. We have upper-level high pressure over the southwestern states. Lots of sunshine, and we're headed for the low 80s on the afternoon high. Wind at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Not too bad. Clear for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 30s, and then we'll stay in the upper 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday, and sunny, cooling off a little bit more for Wednesday, sunny and upper 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
Great news, Roswell. Your friends at Roswell Ford have the best relationship advice ever. Break up and do it right now.
Really?
Yes, break up with your old beater and upgrade for less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. Right now, everybody gets friends and family pricing on all new and quality pre-owned vehicles with up to $8,000 off MSRP on new Fords with 0 down, 0% APR for 72 months, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles in prime condition starting at just $10,000. Making payments on your current car, truck, or SUV and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your current lease or loan, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive lenders will push to approve your credit, even if your credit is less than perfect. Huge savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is $13.89 per thousand financed. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
In response to Elon Musk's demand that federal workers explain their accomplishments or risk being fired, Musk, in charge of President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, set a deadline of 11:59 Eastern Time tonight to respond, although some agency heads are advising their staffers that they don't have to respond. In his drive to expel criminal illegal aliens from the country, it would seem that President Trump has a lot of Republican allies across a number of states.
Lawmakers in more than 20 states have filed legislation targeting so-called sanctuary policies that limit cooperation with federal immigration authorities. Some of those states already have sanctuary policies, but they're now proposing to punish mayors, council members, and others who ignore those bans. The state proposals come as Trump's administration also has begun taking legal action against governments with policies inhibiting arrests and deportations of people who were in the United States illegally. Ernie Bennett reporting.
The FBI getting a new deputy director whose name is familiar to many. President Trump announcing the appointment of Dan Bongino as Director Kash Patel's right-hand man. Mr. Trump taking to Truth Social, proclaiming great news for law enforcement and American justice. And the president will be hosting Emmanuel Macron today.
The French president is the latest world leader to visit the White House for talks with Donald Trump. How to end the Ukraine war is expected to top the agenda. The president rattled Europe last week by sharply criticizing Ukraine's leader and having U.S. officials meet with Russian officials. Ahead of his visit, Macron said he plans to tell President Trump not to be weak in the face of Vladimir Putin. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And today marks the third anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. There's word that Grammy-winning singer Roberta Flack has died. She was 88. Wall Street, the Dow up 28 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has held a call with Russia's President Vladimir Putin, saying he was pleased with Moscow's efforts to hold a summit with the U.S. on ending the war in Ukraine. State broadcaster CCTV reports that Putin updated Xi on the latest contacts with the U.S. A statement from the Kremlin says the Chinese side expressed support for the dialogue between Russia and the U.S. and said it was prepared to assist peacefully resolving the conflict in Ukraine. China says its forces have begun live fire exercises in the Gulf of Tonkin. This comes just days after Vietnam announced a new line marking what it considers its territory in the body of water between the two countries. China's Maritime Safety Administration says the exercises would be focused on the Chinese side of the Gulf and would run through Thursday evening. Vietnam has not publicly responded to the Chinese live fire drills. News and analysis at townhall.com. Legislation introduced in the Wisconsin Senate could strike the words mother and husband in official documents.
Democrat Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers supports a Democrat Senate bill that would replace the word mother with the word inseminated person and replace the word husband with the word spouse. Senate Bill 45, Section 3106, also replaces the words man and wife for person. President Trump has made clear and has signed an executive order stating that it's the policy of the United States to recognize two sexes, male and female. A majority of Americans agree with the president. Quinnipiac survey found 57% agree with Trump compared to 38% who do not. Tasha Stevens reporting.
88-year-old Pope Francis remains in critical condition. As of today, hospitalized for 10 days for a lung infection and early-stage kidney failure, which is said to be under control. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travelation, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
At least it's nice out.
Yeah, should hopefully, stay that way for most of the week.
Yeah. It's going to be, we have a little chili dipper in the 60s there Wednesday, Thursday.
Chili dipper.
But it dips back up into the 70s by the end of the week there.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah.
That actually, I did a fast food cheat over the week. Not really a cheat, but it was like committing fast food adultery because I cheated on one restaurant with another. I got
Health Council's going to join us here.
Yes, absolutely. But before that, speaking of chili dip, go to Sonic, get yourself one of those pretzel twists.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I'm a fan of those.
They give you cheese, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go across the way and down about a block to Wendy's.
Okay.
Pick yourself up a bowl of their delicious chili.
Ooh, and dip
Add
the
cheese on top of that. Boy, howdy. Tell you what, that was a treat. I had ridiculous heartburn for like 4 hours afterwards, but...
Not to mention you blew a tank of gas doing all
Oh,
this.
yeah.
They're not that far apart.
Punish your toilet.
Unless you went to like the Sonic Way on North Main and then went...
No, that's too much effort for this endeavor. But it's like it was like the concoction came into my head. I was like, I could go here and do this, get this from here, and when combined, magic happens.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. In the past, my wife and I, we like the fried chicken from one place, but from the sides from the other better. So we'll go to one place, get the chicken, go to the other place, get the sides.
I will say this. We ate more Church's chicken back in the day than probably any family in Roswell. And it was because of the sides. It was because of my dad loved mashed potatoes and gravy, and they did the jalapenos. They sold those at the counter. So
and they were one of the few that had mac and cheese at the time. Mac and cheese.
We miss you, Churches. Our boss posted in the group chat about a week ago. He posted a meme that was basically, anywhere where you see this sign is not a place you want to be after dark, and it was just a busted out Church's chicken. I'm like, so basically Roswell then, right?
You know what the messed up part is?
Mm-hmm.
I think that Church's chicken in that particular picture,
might have been ours.
No. It was the one from the D.C. area.
Okay.
About 20 years ago, they had an infamous riot at this Church's chicken, and it was all over the news, and those pictures look very similar.
Was it old and busted out then?
Well, it became old. It was.
Was it still open?
It was open, and it was serving the public. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call it, nice.
Chicken of the cave.
It was in PG County, Maryland, which is
a rougher neighborhood.
It is where I'm from, which is the toilet of Maryland, and all. Mm-hmm. Now I don't know. I know they've had some shiftings and things, and maybe PG County isn't as bad as it was when I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
But when I grew up, it was not a pleasant county to live.
That's fair.
And weirdly enough, just north of that county, one of the richest counties in the country, Montgomery County.
Yeah, well, that's where all the money's funneling. I mean, all you need is one good solid train track for his line of delineation.
Yeah.
Speaking of, if you had to say what the most dangerous city in the entire United States is, according to a recent study, where would you say it is?
I'm going to guess it's some weird town, like some kind of mid-town about the size of Roswell in the middle of, like,
It is
Iowa
a metropolis. It is a big city.
Oh, okay. Albuquerque?
No. I know you got to guess, so we'll just get
Little
to it.
Rock, Arkansas?
You're close. Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Believe it or not, the most dangerous city in the United States. Not New York, not L.A.
Yeah.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Nice.
A lot of nonsense goes down there, apparently.
Well, if you've ever been to Graceland, there's Graceland. I wouldn't stay any establishments too far outside of Graceland.
So there's the Graceland bubble.
And then, those Church's chickens we just talked about, like a couple doors down.
This is what happens when the king falls. It only takes 40 or so years, 50 or so years, but eventually the whole thing collapses.
Yeah,
whole kingdom.
Yes. But yes, we do have a full slate for
Indeed.
you. Carrie Moore from the Health Council, Travis County Health Council, join us here in just a few. Shortly thereafter, we'll have Caroline Brooks join us with the Roswell Museum, talking about the Art NM Roswell Day happening here April 9th. So we're going to do all that, but first, let's do this. Let's take a quick 3-minute break, and then on the other side, we'll talk with Carrie Moore from the Travis County Health Council. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico for 2023? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Tired of living with chronic pain? Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell is here to help.
I couldn't believe it. My knee pain is practically gone after just a few sessions.
Softwave Therapy for Premier Chiropractic uses cutting-edge sound wave technology to target inflammation and stimulate your body's natural healing process. No surgery, no downtime, just real relief.
Now I can finally enjoy life again with no shoulder pain.
Don't let pain hold you back. Discover the power of Softwave Therapy today from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell. Call now for your free consultation at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com. Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic, 1301 North Richardson in Roswell. restoring life.
Take your career to the next level. If you have mechanical aptitude, the Crumlin Auto Group wants to talk to you. Make real money without driving to the oil field. Certified master technicians can earn up to $70 an hour. Entry-level technicians start at $20 an hour with free training and tools. The Crumlin Auto Group offers competitive wages, health insurance, a 401k, housing assistance, and a sign-on bonus of up to $20,000. You could be making over $150,000 a year. Apply today at KAGNM.com. KAGNM.com.
Springtime is coming quickly, and that means it's time for the spring open house for high school students and their parents at Eastern New Mexico University. Join us Saturday, March 22nd, as we welcome potential students and their family members to campus. ENMU will feature campus tours, opportunities to meet with current students and professors, information on scholarships, and chances to win great prizes. Sign up today at enmu.edu/open house. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 15 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Health Council, Carrie Moore, back with us. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am here, alive, awake. It's warm. Life is grand.
I'm about to say, it's not subarctic temperatures. We're already in the 50s.
I know. I like
Crazy.
getting out in the mornings now.
Yeah. I'm kind of already regretting the long sleeve T-shirt.
Well, that's why you layer.
I know. Well, this room is either abysmally hot or abysmally cold. There's never a creamy in between.
Yeah, well, it's hot this morning.
It is warm in here this
Yeah.
morning. So. But for folks not familiar, first off, the Chavez County Health Council, they are the keepers of 211, which is if you have questions, really it's kind of expanded over the coming months here, but really it was
Yeah.
created for health issues, not emergency issues, but like if you have questions about healthcare or getting connected to things like that.
No, it's a resource line. So 211 is about connecting people to resources.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Maybe I didn't say not doctors direct, but
yeah,
like,
we
hey,
don't
if
deal
I'm
with
looking
the-
for this, who do I need to talk to? You need to go see this guy. That's kind of what I meant.
Yeah, your basic needs. If
Yeah.
you need help with rent, call 211 because we will have a list of what organizations throughout
Partner
town
and-
do this stuff.
Kind of like a yellow pages for I just dated myself, but kind of like a yellow pages for if you have needs resources from nonprofits to
Yeah.
government resources, etc. Things.
Yeah.
But it has since evolved to not only doing that, but for flood disaster relief to
which fit right
homeless-
into it because it was the same thing. It was
Mhm.
disaster resources. So the homeless is part of it.
Yeah.
So basically anywhere that we can connect the citizens of Chavez County with other organizations, nonprofits, government agencies
Yeah.
to access resources, we're the connector.
basically, regardless of how you got into a situation, but if you're in a situation where you need resources to provide, any of the basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, resources, to I need support for healthcare, to anything, that the 211 has now kind of been that catch-all resource
right.
to for both sides, for people offering these services to get the word out, and for people in need of these services, who do they need to connect to? 211's done.
Right. And 211 is a nationwide number. So it's normally run through United Way.
Mhm.
And again, it's nationwide. So depending on where you're at when you call, you get your local resources
Sure.
of that area. But this is what they do all the time. So it's not just unique to Chavez County. The only thing
Gotcha.
that's unique to us is that the Health Council is the one that operates it here
Gotcha.
in our
It's a different
area.
managing partner in different
Right.
areas.
We had the capabilities, the
But
skills necessary to operate it.
Are each a little unique to their community on what needs services they provide too, or is that pretty pretty much the same.
Yes, and that's the reason for it is because each community is unique in their needs to start with.
Gotcha.
So whereas some of us in the rural areas, we may not have as much resources, and we have to rely heavily on the nonprofits and finding those.
Sure.
Whereas if you're in the metro areas, there's organizations and things, and so it's a lot easier to find stuff. And
well, I mean, we all live in Roswell, and you live in Albuquerque or Lubbock. You usually have a doctor in city limits. Here we're driving to those places, and it's that's rural living, and so it needs are more there, and so. But if you are in need, if you're needing it, maybe you're done or utilized all the FEMA resources, looking for additional resources, 211 is a great place to reach out and find out where others can help you connect to what you need there.
Right, and on the flood recovery, the long-term recovery group will get going, and so then that'll be another additional source of resources and to be able to get those homes brought back up.
Sure.
So 211, it's a long-term project. I mean, this is just not short-term stuff that we're dealing with.
Well, and it's kind of also going to evolve and, find its niche, so to speak, and find out exactly, you know what I mean? Like we're kind of throwing everything at it and see how efficient it can do these things, or is there a more efficient way to do some of these other things? And that's kind of where we're learning right now.
Yeah, and when it comes to the resources stuff, I mean, it definitely is 211. I mean, you don't have to remember a 10 or 7-digit number. This is just easier to deal with.
Yeah.
And then in the case, like the weird thing is when the fires in Ruidoso happened and people from Ruidoso started coming to Roswell, they didn't know any of the resources, where to get anything to find stuff. So it's easy. Call 211 and we will do that for you. And we'll make sure that we can get you connected in the places that you need to be connected.
Yeah.
When the flood happened, because we're here in Roswell, the majority of us, I mean, we're all family. We know each other. And so we know a lot of these things. We didn't know everything. So we were able to start pulling stuff because, again, we don't deal with water. We don't know what this stuff is.
Sure.
If it's not in my shower, I don't know what it is.
We get it once every 10 years. It's like, what's this stuff coming from this guy here?
Right. So, that was different and unique. And so then we were able to start pulling resources from everywhere else to start building it and doing it. But having it based out of a local situation, we can deal with whatever happens to us at the time that it happens.
Sure.
And that's the great thing about, the Health Council to start with. It's the same thing for them, is because our needs in Chaves County are different than the needs, say, in Eddy County or Lee County, because they have different sets of resources. They've got oil field money coming in, so they have got access to different things where we don't necessarily have access to.
And then other things, too, is like you get down in Lee County, there's maybe not a lot of transitional folks there. So their needs might be greater than ours because, they don't have permanent establishments that are connections. So, yeah, like you said, they're much more a transient community in terms of labor because than we are here. We're a little bit more, even keeled on that. But that changes needs. So.
It does. I mean, and we're looking at, how do we get people who don't have vehicles in Dexter and Hagerman and Lake Arthur up to Roswell where they need resources? So, again, our needs are different.
Absolutely.
And so we can do those assessments and figure out and then talk with the people in charge, the people who provide these services and say, hey, look, this is what we need to focus on. Can you provide this?
Yeah. It's kind of that's an excellent point you make. It kind of works both sides of the spectrum. It's we're putting the people in need to people that can offer help, but at the same time we're also telling the people who offer help specialize in these areas because that's where the needs are greater, right?
Right, and with us being the nonprofit, so we're not government based at all. We're a nonprofit. And so we can go to the government side of it and say, hey, look, this is what we're seeing from the community. We can go to the business side of it and say, hey, this is what the community needs because the community's coming to us.
Let's just navigate a little red tape sometimes. That tends to gum up processes very easy.
Right. Yeah, and it's so much easier doing stuff in nonprofits than it is doing it inside the government.
Absolutely. Now, that being said, we're going to segue.
Into more government.
Yeah, but that being said, we do have an event we want to put on people's radars, particularly veterans out there. Coming up here in March is the annual Veteran Symposium, which is really a be-all resource for veterans, from everything from the stuff you're thinking of, veterans benefits, things like that, to nonprofit, mental health resources, civic organizations. So it kind of covers all of veterans' needs, from the social side to the needing benefits, needing physical needs, things like
right.
that.
And then, the way the symposium is going to work is that we'll have booths so that they'll have the tables so that you can get those resources. But then we'll have sessions where people are providing information. So if you need to know about what Chaves County Together with Veterans program is, they can tell you what the program is, and there'll be a whole 15-minute presentation on that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to read a schedule here. Yes, I know y'all didn't see that in Radioland, but I just increased the size of my phone greatly.
You know what? The bigger, I'm telling you, I'm kind of thinking, maybe I used to laugh at those people to get those phones that are like ginormous. Now I'm kind of like,
we all should have iPads and
right.
use those as our phones.
I'm just going with an iPad on the side of my head.
Yeah, we went through that really small phase, and now we're going, okay, well, that was stupid. Let's go bigger.
Yeah, it's like, man, they keep putting these great videos. I can't see any of them.
Right? So this is the third year doing this symposium. This will be the first year that the Health Council and Together with Veterans is hosting it.
Excellent.
Normally it's done through one of the government agencies, but everything's a little wonky.
Sure.
Is the word we'll use today.
Got it.
On stuff. So it just became easier for the veteran organization, the nonprofit, to say, hey, look, we think this is a great resource that we need in this county. Sure. We've got about 5,000 veterans.
We do. Quite a few in this, more than people realize.
Yeah, it was way more than I thought.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there, it's like, really? We don't really have...
We just end up in the desert for some reason. I don't know what happens.
Once they closed our base, it's like, I feel like, people just didn't stay here. So we lost, all of our veterans. And then I was doing some research, and I'm like, 5,000? Really?
Well, some of us meet native New Mexicans and just end up here when we get stuck in, Alamogordo.
Yeah. Well, Roswell is a nicer place to live than Alamogordo.
Yes, I would agree. Yeah. Certainly a lot quieter with the aircraft and everything.
Yeah.
But you're right. We do have a lot of veterans here. And so we want to get veterans to come out there, but also at the same time, if you're an organization that deals with veterans, works with veterans stuff, we want you a part of these symposiums as well. Too.
Right. So technically Friday was my cutoff, or Saturday was my cutoff for booths and sponsorships. I'm going to extend it one more week. So this will be the last week.
We squeak one in.
We're going to squeak one in. If you are a veteran serving organization, you need to get your forms in. This way we can make sure that we can get the veterans to you
ASAP
and vice versa. Part of this is about building that community, that camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what
creating the network.
Yeah. And that's kind of what the Together with Veterans program is to start with. It's about connecting.
And there already kind of is that little bit of that veteran network here with your VFWs and American Legions and Chaves County, but these veteran organizations. We want to beef that up.
Yeah. And that's exactly. We want to make sure that those that are here have access to that, because if we have to build the friendship. I mean, this is what helps sometimes get through the day.
Yeah. And I know, and that sometimes veteran folk are a little ornery. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, that's the word today we'll use for that
one. Ornery. And yeah, we're meatheads. I get it.
Y'all are unique.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah.
Well, when you've been dealing with government for a certain amount of time, it tends to jade your brain a certain way.
I was gonna say, for the most part, I kind of like fall into that. You're very precise, direct, and to the point.
Yeah,
I love it. I don't want to stand around and BS with people all day, which gives me, my nickname.
Yeah, and I'm the best and worst of both of that, because I too love that, but it's kind of what I do for a living. So it's kind of I am the epitome of opposites of each other.
Right.
I hate being in public, but I sit and talk in public all day. I like direct to the point, but here I pontificate about nothing.
Yeah. So again, if you're a veteran serving agency or organization, make sure to get with us so that we can get you into the symposium.
It's real easy. Call 211.
It's easy.
Yeah.
The other part of this is that we are building the resource guide. Again, what the Health Council does best is we connect resources, right? So we're looking for the veteran resources. We know the big people.
Sure.
But there's smaller organizations, smaller groups that
sometimes there's niche needs too that are better served in one of these smaller groups.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, we really just want to deal with this, with just the veteran population.
Yeah.
We want to connect those to the vets.
Ideally, they want so a vet calls 211 and they can ask any vet related question, and there's someone on the 211 line that can give them the answers they're looking. That's
Right.
That's the end of the day the goal.
Yeah, and there are unique resources just for vets that don't apply to anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. We know. You bring this form, that form, this other form that talked about the form of the other form. Yeah.
So at 211, we don't have those forms. However, you have to do a form for the symposium.
Sure. Yeah, there is a form for that. But please call 211 and then mark it. It's March 29th.
March 29th. We're doing from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. out at the fairgrounds at Hobson Hall because finding a venue is...
yeah, it's a little limited on places available, but fairgrounds is always opening their doors for folks. So.
Yeah, and we'll be putting out more details. I'm looking at possibly running a bus out there for people who aren't driving. That's kind of our problem with the fairgrounds is that there's no city transportation out there. So
maybe the VA transport folks might get involved.
It's a possibility.
Yeah,
if you're one of those transport peoples,
or maybe like I said, we can get maybe a city bus, a Pecos Transit bus.
No.
City, just saying, just a little help. Anybody out there listening?
Short-handed?
Yeah, just run a little bus out there, no problem. You know what? We'll get a veteran to drive it. I can find one. We just need the bus and some gas money.
Well, and I mean, honestly, we may just be renting a bus or working with the transport services.
Sure.
If the need is there for it. One of the great things is like the Together with Veterans program. They provide and pay for bus services for the veterans.
Yeah, they do.
And so I want to say we're doing close to 6,000 bus rides a month.
That sounds about right. It's all over.
It just seems like it's way too many, but I'm like, no, I swear that was the last time.
And it may cover all of Pecos Vat, like.
No, that's just inside Roswell. It's it's just the city bus.
I was thinking that was all the 3 counties there.
No, that's just us.
That's crazy. Very good. But again, 211, reach out if you want any questions about the Veterans Symposium or anything related to needs here, or if you're an organization that's listening and said, I didn't know about this, I'd love to get involved. I work with the homeless, I work with this, and we want to make sure our stuff's out there available to everyone else too.
And we do it 2 different ways. I mean, if you are somebody who wants to be published so that everybody knows that your resources are there, we can do that. If you're somebody who needs like what we call a warm handoff, you're not necessarily public information, it needs to be vetted a little bit before it gets to the public.
Sure.
We can do that too. So we don't publish the information.
Right.
We just have it so that way we can say, hey, okay, look, there is, but you have to meet these criteria and before it gets to you.
There's a lot of services that are offered and rendered that give, patient protections and things like that we have to live by. We can't cut those corners. So
right.
That's where we're talking. If you get in that world a little bit. So, yeah. But good deal. Is there anything else?
Veteran-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently there's about 86 veteran-owned businesses in Chaves County.
Yeah, you want to put a list together.
I'm trying to put a list together because I cannot find, my Google researching has not found more than 7 veteran-owned businesses. So I really need those.
I know there's a lot more than that.
Yeah, I know there is. I just don't know who's the keeper of this list.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people really want to support veteran-owned businesses.
Absolutely.
And so I want to make sure that we do that.
And as a veteran that owns a business, I'm sure you'll take any of the free marketing you possibly get.
And that's exactly what it is. It is free marketing because you do not have to pay to be in this. This is not like, going back to those yellow pages where you had to pay thousands of dollars to get listed.
Pay to play kind of deal here.
No.
Now this is free, and so when someone says, "Hey, I would like to support veterans. Do you have a list of businesses or hey, who's a veteran-owned restaurant or a veteran-owned car place or whatever it is?" We happen to have one of those. Here it is. So, but please reach out.
Yep.
And if you and I don't care if you're a business owner and that's a tactic you can do to make your business better. Why would you not do that?
Exactly.
For free.
For free. This is great ideas, Carrie. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Good deal. Well, Carrie is always appreciated, and we'll get times right. I will get times right here because I'm now I know. Now I think after 2 or 3 screw ups in a row, I will get it right. 4th time's the charm.
All right, we're holding you to it.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you, Carrie. All right, 9:33. Let's pause for news. Yeah, let's pause for news, and then we will talk with Caroline from the museum, the Roswell Museum here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. The Artesia Historical Museum and Art Center is holding their annual Quilters exhibit. Plenty of great works on display from members of the local Quilters Guild. Admission is free. The Artesia Historical Museum is located at 505 West Richardson Avenue. The hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a 1-hour lunch break at noon. Work now beginning on the 2nd and Richardson Road construction project in Artesia. The city says the work will be carried out in 3 phases that will run through August. The project involves road rehab, sidewalk repairs, and work on new ADA ramps. And the city of Artesia says it doesn't mind people picking pecans from trees in city parks and walkways, but they ask that you please do not throw items at the tree branches to knock off pecans. Throwing items at the tree branches often breaks the branches and damages the trees. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 35 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Museum, of course, Caroline Brooks back with us. Good morning, Caroline.
Good
How
morning.
Are you today? And also Jessica Parham, your assistant, your associate.
She's our educator at the museum.
Educator, one of our teachers there at the museum.
Yes.
Good morning, ladies. How y'all doing today? Welcome. Well, how's life without a museum right now?
It's a struggle. It's hard.
Well, it is hard because, especially like events like we're talking about that's coming up here. We've kind of created a tradition. And now we're still doing tradition. We just got to shift gears a little bit.
And it's all temporary. I mean, what the museum went through, what the building went through in the collection, it's a real struggle. Yeah, but the museum is going to come back.
I mean, we've heard a lot of stuff, reports in the news and things like that. But like from your perspective, the person that people that like live, breathe, and hang out there every day. What are we talking? How bad is it?
It was really bad.
Yeah,
it was superbly bad. Yeah, we had over 5 feet of water in the building, and if you imagine like when you typically hang artwork, you hang it kind of like at the 5 foot mark. So everything at that line or a little bit lower, everything was hit.
And that's what I was kind of wondering, how much art did we lose versus how, was it a lot? Was it a little?
Losses,
were we lucky?
Nothing yet. Or I would say like under 10. Like there's that, or like, I don't think that one's going to make it.
Not coming back.
Right.
Yeah. But we acted quickly, and conservators came out from the Conservation Center in Chicago. And so they helped.
They're like the Red Cross of art.
They are. Yes, they are. Yeah,
I just got in my head, got this image, these guys coming in with things, and they're just like, invest.
Absolutely. And they were very cool, kind of like Mission Impossible cool.
Yeah, they're coming from the ceiling on strings. Yeah.
Yeah. So
add Artie into that.
They came in, and for like 2.5 weeks, they helped us evacuate the collection. So half of it, I would say, went to Chicago to their facility.
Okay.
And
is this some on display or just kind of in a warehouse right now?
In their storage facilities.
Okay. I didn't know if they said, well, great, we'll create a New Mexico piece here in Chicago.
No, so those are the things that were damaged.
Gotcha.
So at or below the flood line, in the floodwaters themselves. So they took the damaged things.
And a lot of them are frozen still to prevent further damage.
Okay, because I'm wondering, part of me wonders, because it's art and it's unique, one-of-a-kind stuff. Yeah. I mean, do we show it with its scars? Say we can't repair it. Do we create an exhibit saying this is the art we kind of lost, and maybe and
there's
see
a couple
that
things you can do. So one, you try to bring it back to its pre-flood condition.
Sure.
And so typically what we go through is the conservation. So conservation, I consider that a light touch.
Gotcha.
Anything they do is reversible. So it's like paint's lifting a little bit. They push it back down, and they use like a glue that you can technically remove in case conservation practices change in 15, 20, 30 years, that they can reverse what they did. Restoration is a bit deeper. That's a heavier hand.
Okay.
And so that might be more like infilling, because that paint was an absolute loss. And so they're infilling where that paint was lost and recreating that section.
Okay.
So to be honest, we don't know yet. We haven't gone far enough into the process.
Okay.
But it's probably going to be a bit of both.
Okay. Was it just the painting arts? Was there any of the other, because there's more than just paintings.
The whole
in the
variety was hit. So
gotcha.
The Goddard collection, the Aston collection, which is the American West collection.
Yeah.
So you have Native American artifacts, American West artifacts.
That's where you went to those are the things you're like, how much?
Yeah.
Some of it's, I'm gonna take a stab, and a little sturdier to water than paint is, but when you're talking that much water,
like buckskin, very sensitive.
Yeah.
Very sensitive.
But I'm guessing pottery and stuff. Well, depending on how fragile it is, it may not.
Some
be.
of it.
Yeah.
Some of it rolled around the museum for a while
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Imagine 5 feet of water. So things were knocked off their pedestals.
Not just getting wet.
Something stayed on their pedestal. So like the pedestal floated, and then it stayed on there and didn't fall off. And you're like, what? Like
that's kind of one of those moments. You're like,
a mystery.
Yeah.
But something more to that piece than we know of.
Yeah, the paintings, sculptures, works on paper, pottery, the American West. So all different elements of the collection, I would say, were hit by the floodwaters. But half of it was above the flood line.
Okay.
So whether it was above the flood line in storage or whether it was above when it was displayed. And so those items we have at an offsite storage here in Roswell, and we're going through a process with those items because everything was displaced. So whether it went to Chicago or whether it stayed with us, it was still displaced from the museum. And so we're documenting it. We're doing condition assessments, photographing and everything. So just doing a full inventory to make sure that we're tracking everything.
Sure.
But even the things that weren't in the floodwaters directly, we still are going to have to go through a cleaning process because anyone who was affected by the flood, there's a heavy silt.
It's like a fire, even though your place wasn't burned, you can still get damage from the after effects, the smoke. It's the same thing with flooding.
Yeah. So the staff that would normally be in the store or doing our front desk or doing the planetarium, they're all helping with this kind of care and preservation.
And things that they've got to worry about not coming back. So they're doing a lot of that kind of,
of the things in Chicago, which is why they were frozen.
Sure.
So things were frozen to prevent that mold from forming. But even there was, it forms quickly.
Sure.
So there were still things
but
that
even like in the
that
facility itself, where places are maybe not impacted, but just being in that environment, it kind of, it's a
the
cocktail
humidity.
for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to ask more questions, and I kind of want to move on to our event and everything. But like for the future of the museum, this is kind of an opportunity where at the same time you're like, okay, we want to bring the museum back, but can we make some things better? I mean, or is it kind of looking? It's like, all right, we're not bringing back the same building. We're going to bring back a Superman version of it, or
You're on the right mark,
yeah,
for sure. I mean, there's the silver lining in any disaster like this. So it's like it's an opportunity to evaluate what was working, what wasn't working, and it's going to be a process. It's going to take several months, maybe even a year, to determine. Are we staying in the same location? Are we moving to a different location? Even if we stay, there's still an opportunity to adjust things.
Sure.
Or maybe it's a hybrid. Maybe majority is at a different location. Maybe
higher ground.
Out of the flood zone.
It's a start.
Yeah. But then, like we still have that original portion of the building, which was the Federal Arts Center that opened in 1937.
There's history in that building in and of itself.
And investment and memories and everything.
Plus it is a generational place. I mean, that area of downtown with the Goddard sculpture, the planetarium, the museum, all right, that's an iconic to the landscape of Roswell and generations of people, and just to see that change is yes, change happens. That's life, but it is a little sad nostalgia when you're like, oh man,
the community has grown it over the years.
It's like the rocket slide that now is an art piece downtown.
Right.
That's that in a nutshell.
That's the 40 years of people taking classes under Area Finch.
Exactly.
Right. And she helped build that program and that studio. So.
Yeah. So So maybe, just maybe, we don't know yet what that future holds.
We don't know. It's a process that just involves insurance, FEMA, evaluation, architects, engineers, and.
But fear not, there will be a museum.
There will be a
be
museum.
back again, and it will, whether it's here or another part of town, to be determined. But
correct. We're still trying to maintain the community side of it.
I would imagine for folks that want to get, there's still volunteer being part of the what is the I want to say Friends of the Museum, but I don't think that's.
There's a foundation. So we have a board of trustees that's aligned with the city and Mayor appointed, and then we have a foundation, so the RMAC Foundation.
So get involved in that side of things because they can probably use all hands on deck on right now to get decisions, raise money, and get because there's with change comes bucks generated and things, and
absolutely.
And anytime it's a city based thing, there's probably going to be matching with public. Unfortunately, this is. Museum they don't look at in the same vein that they look at, say, your sewage water. So they prioritize these kinds of things a little different.
But I know, so one of the areas that people ask, they're like, how was the Goddard collection? Again, it was in the flood.
But
pretty much everything was in the flood, but we rescued the artifacts. So we have those. Those will go through a conservation process. But the exhibit itself is gone.
It's gone.
We've
lost that.
We've lost it. Like it was too hard impacted. And if you remember, you had to walk down into the workshop. Like the water level was really high there.
Just maybe, there's probably enough video and footage of that particular thing that if we choose to recreate it that way again, we've got enough documentation.
But again, silver lining, right?
Exactly.
So we had already been wanting to do expand the storyline and include different elements like the role of Esther Goddard, his wife. Where space technology is today because of Goddard and really expand the story. And so it's that opportunity to do that. But as you were saying, like fundraising the foundation, it's going to take extra funds to, and so not only just bring it back to what it was, but take it beyond.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, but this is where getting involved with the foundation, getting there, being a part of the change, the direction that the museum's going to go here for the future. That's Now, in the meantime, the public, we fortunately, Roswell is a blessed community with art and culture, and when we lose a sliver of it, we all rally together to keep the arts going. And the Art NM event that we have annually that you think is going to be a little different this year, but it is happening here in April, and it's game on. But the museum's just going to have to play a slightly different role this year.
Right, we're not hosting it this year.
Yes.
Not entirely.
Just coordinating, not hosting.
Yeah. So kind of give us the version of this year's Art New Mexico event.
Well, we've been working with the library.
Okay.
They've been welcomed us to come work at the Bondurant Room or some of their spaces.
And there's always been that great partnership with the museum and the library and doing, various projects that kind of cross promote each other.
Sure. We're great, friendly workers together. Yeah. We're going to be working with them for this, this event. And there are going to be a number of cities around New Mexico that are also participating in the Creative New Mexico event, and it's Silver City, Carlsbad, Taos, Rio Rancho, Farmington, and Gallup.
Yeah, so kind of
all
corners of the state covered in various ways, shapes, or forms.
So the theme this year is
Art Unites Resilience and Recovery.
And it's
apropos, isn't it, for us? A little close to home for Roswell, huh?
Yeah, and they're all going to have a little bit of promotion for the Roswell Museum.
It is.
So is this kind of a little bit of a rally year for Roswell in that way, in the New Mexico art community? It's saying, hey, let's lift them up and let's get our museum back.
Yeah, bring awareness around the state to what happened here.
Sure,
is the idea.
Well, and that's great because New Mexico is blessed with an art. As far as we're one of those states that you've got a little bit of everything. We don't have a New York City in it per se, but you go up north in the Taos in that area, and you have some of the most renowned artists that call this this place home. And so when you get that kind of support involved, it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
When you have internationally renowned artists and stuff that call New Mexico home involved in the thing, that's a good thing. Absolutely. So I'm going to take a stab that some of that's involved. In some of this.
And this year it's event, like I said, it's in April. It's on April 12th. It's a Saturday. from 10 to 1.
Okay.
And like the years past, we invited different arts and cultural organizations from throughout the community to come band together and be a part of the event. So they'll each have a table. They'll have some of them will have hands-on activities. They'll be promoting what their upcoming offerings are, and just really celebrating the arts of our community.
Yeah,
as a
absolutely,
whole.
absolutely. So, as far as is there anything here in town they can or a place they can go to on that day, or is it?
So it's at the library.
It's going to be at the library.
Yeah, so
okay,
we're all
want to
coming
clear that
together.
up here.
Yeah. Yes.
So it'll be at the library. That's going to be the location here. Is in the Bondurant room, I'm going to assume, or wherever they'll make room at.
We're spilling out because there'll be so many groups.
And to be honest, Saturdays are busy days at the library anyway,
Always.
and so it kind of it'll be a lot. Which I invite you to check out. They always have a, depending on the week, second Saturday. What do these have? Is that one of the
cooking?
That's
station.
their cooking weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Charlie Card, I think they call it.
So kind of, we're going to call it a second Saturday on steroids that day.
Yeah.
Because the museum's always
It's family friendly.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
maybe pumped up. I don't know.
Sugar.
Sugar. Yeah, all Red Bulled up. That's no better. but anyway, it'll be So kind of come to the library, come and participate, and obviously all the art and MN Day stuff. But while you're at the library, I invite you to check out a book or two, or take some of their summer classes, and get a card. If you don't have a library card, for Pete's sake, get one of those while you're there.
And just to expand it as well, so Art NM, that April 12th, is a part of our Second Saturdays for the Roswell Museum. So just this month, we started Second Saturdays again, which is our hands-on creative day.
Are they doing it at the library every month?
At the library every month.
So mark it on your calendars again. That was
Yeah,
kind of part of your Saturday routines. That second Saturday we go to the museum, and you've been kind of missing those.
We're back in action.
It's back in action, just a couple blocks down at the Roswell Public Library too. So there's plenty of places for shade and stuff. So when you do outdoor activities, hang out by the learning tree, you cool off.
There you go.
As the weather gets hot. So, but April 12th, mark it on your calendars. Of course, you'll find information on the Roswell Museum's social media and online. I'm sure it's also on the Roswell Public Library's social media and everything.
Yeah, we're on their calendar.
Yeah. And then creativenewmexico.org. So Creative New Mexico is an arts advocacy group that's does many things, but coordinates this day for the state. So that's why it's in those 6 other communities, is because of Creative New Mexico.
And I would invite, if you have family and friends that live in those communities or nearby, say, hey, go check out your town on the 12th here. If you live in some of those other communities, that pretty much, and if you got family anywhere in the state, there's one nearby. It sounds like, depending on where they live, and I always like that. That's it's kind of cool when they do those kind of state, like I know the library does that kind of situation too. If there's a certain book or a certain author they want to pay tribute to, then a lot of times you're like, oh yeah, every library in the state, they're dealing with so and so right now, and I love that, and it's great to see that in the art community too. So. And another thing I love about that is, there's certain artists that just their household names, obviously New Mexico has a few of those names. And what I love about this is you may know those names, you may go to the museum to look for those names, and you'll find those names. But then while you're looking for those names, you accidentally find this and this and this other thing, and so like everyone that's looking for that,
Peter Hurd.
Yeah, exactly. You accidentally stumble into 12 other artists or different art firms.
Artists.
Yeah, exactly. I love for instance, like if you go down to Artesia, go to the Artesia Public Library, and they got that mural from Peter Hurd that was on the wall in Texas. I love that that's there, because I hope someone comes there and sees that. What's that? And they learn, and Peter Hurd, who's this guy? What's going on with that? And next thing you know, the can of worms gets opened up, and they get the love of everything.
There's value in that.
Yeah. And so when the museum comes back, it'll be back for that, and it'll be bigger, faster, stronger. Really, it'll be something that Roswell will be proud of. But give us time as we sort out the particulars on
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Everyone's asked, so when are you coming back? It's going to be a few years.
Well, and that's just it, too. I don't, because from the outside looking in, I mean, you drive up and down Main Street.
There's a building.
It looks, you don't realize
Structure's
what's
fine.
going on. And, and I'm going to take a stab at, the planetarium. The amazing amount of electronics and things that it takes to recreate the galaxies and everything on there. I feel like, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of work. That's a lot. And when it's all destroyed because of water and stuff, that's not something you can say, well, let's just get on eBay and order up some stuff and have it shipped in. It don't work that way. And,
but we do have insurance. We do have FEMA. They're going to play a role, and fundraising will also play a role, because it's an opportunity. Like, our planetarium was phenomenal. It was great. But you know what? Technology is new now. There's some other opportunities.
I'm going to take a stab. It's going to be better.
It could be, yeah.
And the equipment that was in there was antiquated, because that's how electronics work.
Some of it was.
Yeah.
Some of it was from the 1960s, and it was tied into the 2017 renovation.
Gotcha.
But even 2017
is already antiquated.
It is.
Yeah. The moment you put computer software into the thing, the moment you're done, it's already antiquated. It's as bad as new cars. As soon as you drive them off the lot, they already lose a bunch of money. You buy that new Dell or whatever computer, as soon as you get home fired up, it's already got one that's faster, better, and stronger. So.
Yeah.
But that's what we'll get. So good deal. Again, April the 12th at the Roswell Public Library. What was the times again?
10 to 1.
10 to 1. Come participate in our Art NM for 2025. Don't forget, if you are in communities all over the state, they will also be participating. Tell your friends and family, or if you just happen, we're going to go see Grandma that weekend out in Clovis. Well, great. They're going to have some fun in Clovis, too. Go participate in it. So, good deal. Anything else we missed?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Just we're going to be out in the community, and it's just going to take us a little while to get there, but we'll be doing second Saturdays, so we'll be at the library.
And we're trying to tell the story a little bit on our social media as well.
Sure.
So if people are interested.
Give people a little bit. Now that we're kind of through the emergency stuff and we can show you and see this is what we've been dealing with for the last 6 months here. So, but think of it this way. Really, right now, think of the library as that conduit for all things museum for now. So when you want it, you mark your second Saturdays, just plan it at the library instead of at
come on in and see us.
Yeah, come on down. And I would say this is a blessing in disguise, because now you're going to find not one but two things you really love, because you came for the museum stuff, and then you're like, oh, man, this library is pretty cool, too. And vice versa. When you're done at the library, actually go to the museum and say, wow, this place is pretty cool, too, when it does open.
Yeah.
So, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on.
Anything else we can do, let us know.
We will.
All right, 9:55. Let's pause for Hannity update, Chaves County sports update, and then I think we'll wrap up the show. Don't go away.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
All executive power granted by people of the several states is vested in the president. The power includes the right to remove executive officials and people deemed unfit to execute his agenda. Now, you're going to hear from the media, so-and-so was a veteran and got fired from USAID. This is not their fault. Just let's be very clear. The president has all of this authority, just like he has the authority under, various constitutional clauses, the supremacy clause for one, to go after illegal immigrants, and states that are going to resist and aid and abet lawbreakers and give them legal driver's licenses, like in New York, they're going to be facing lawsuits from Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Donald J. Trump is officially the next president of the United States of America. While millions of Americans are rejoicing in the victory, thousands of others are still concerned about their savings. The unfortunate truth is, we still have $35 trillion in debt. The interest on that debt is now larger than our entire defense budget for the first time in history. Plus, the wars that started under Biden are still raging across the globe. So, what can you do to help protect your savings? Many Americans are already taking action by reaching out to the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering a free gold and silver kit to show you how precious metals like gold and silver could help you diversify your savings before it's too late. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD to get your copy free of charge. Plus, you could receive up to a 10% match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Visit HannityGold.com or call 855-815-GOLD. That's HannityGold.com. Paid for by Goldco.
Basketball action on Friday night, and that was the end of the regular season. The district tournaments start tomorrow, and there was some notable unexpected turns on Friday night. For instance, the Roswell girls winning at home against Clovis 44-39. Roswell gets its first district victory, but they've still got to play on the road tomorrow in the district tournament at Carlsbad. That starts at 7 o'clock. Also in girls basketball, it was Goddard losing at home to Artesia 56-41. Goddard will play at top-seeded Portales tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Boys basketball, Goddard wins that battle against Artesia at home 45-40. Goddard will be playing at Lovington tomorrow at 6:30. And it was Roswell beating up on Clovis in boys basketball 77-45. They'll play at Hobbs tonight at 6 o'clock. That'll determine the top seed in the district tournament. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Really warm today. We have upper-level high pressure over the southwestern states. Lots of sunshine, and we're headed for the low 80s on the afternoon high. Wind at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Not too bad. Clear for the overnight hours. We're in the upper 30s, and then we'll stay in the upper 70s for the afternoon high on Tuesday, and sunny, cooling off a little bit more for Wednesday, sunny and upper 60s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us. We work around it and we live around it every day. And we just become desensitized to what's around us.
We go through safety training and, we try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen, but you just never know.
There are so many farmers that I think take for granted all of the underground utilities that are there.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
I mean, we kind of know what's out here, but all at the same time, you just always call.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Whether you're installing drain tile or doing any sort of digging, always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked and have the depth confirmed. That's farming with care. But if a line does get damaged, go somewhere safe and call 911.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Trump welcoming French President Macron to Washington today.